Good afternoon, everyone. We will be going live shortly. So, you know what to do when you get on here. This is a show with a title that is political. So, it's not going to be shared. So, you have to do your duty to share this. So, take some time, use your ad highlights, your ad followers, tag some people in here, go in your groups and share it. So, and we'll get started in just one moment. Just a
Good afternoon,
moment.
everyone. We will be going live shortly.
All right. So,
So, you know,
do your civic duty. Thank you for tuning in. You're gonna have an interesting conversation today, and of course, this one is, as always, all about you. So, of course, we're gonna allow you to call in and hear what you have to say about what's going on in this country. This show is, of course, the voice of the people. So, I'm doing my part, sharing this in WhatsApp. I'm blasting it to a few thousand people. Oops. And so, do your part. We'll get started in just a moment. Ladies and gentlemen, this, of course, is Lincoln Bain Live, and we're about to get started. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and thank you for tuning in. Thank you for spending your Sunday with us, as always. Of course, we are broadcasting live on several platforms. We are broadcasting on Instagram, on three of our Facebook platforms: Lincoln Bain, Coalition of Independence, and Bahamian Evolution Activism. And we're also on YouTube platforms: Lincoln Bain, Bahamian Evolution, and the Coalition of Independence. All right. So I'm so glad to have you here. So, ladies and gentlemen, like I said, do your civic duty. Make sure you share this. Make sure people can watch this, including our people who want to watch football. Um, of course, everyone playing football is already living their best life. We need Bahamians to live their best life. So I got to keep doing this no matter what is going on around us. All right. So we're gonna have an interesting one today, interesting conversation. And like I said, this isn't going to be automatically shared on the platform on Facebook. So you have to do your duty and make sure you share this. Um, yeah, so we can get this out there. And so I want to thank everyone who came out to our amazing general meeting. It was an experience. It wasn't just a meeting; it was an experience. And I want to thank all of you who took the time to come out there and be a part of history. History that is in the making. I am so proud of the Bahamian people who are doing what they can to make sure that we can get to the new Bahamas. All of Bahamian people who are tired of the same old status quo, tired of what has been going on in this country. I just want to congratulate all of you. You, uh, you are the ones who are going to help us to get to the new Bahamas. So thank you so very much uh, for your vigilance and your diligence to make sure that we get there, because we can't get there without you. All right. So Thank you so much for that. We're gonna have an interesting conversation today, everyone. We're gonna talk about what's going on in Paradise Island. I'm gonna show you the documents from that, and we also, before we start that, we're gonna talk about Michael Pintard and what he has just announced, another clown and pony show. Um, from Michael Pintard. I don't know if they think that we are grandparents' generation, but I don't get it. But I guess they can't come up with any more ideas, so they don't know exactly what to do. So they're just going to keep trying to bamboozle us with nothing and a bunch of nothingness. So we'll see what happens. All right. So thank you all for joining us. So first, I want to start off. I want to start off with an announcement by Michael Pintard about what he plans to do. What he plans to do um, uh, on this week. He said this week he is going to at House of Assembly that he is going to table. He's going to table some contracts that the government signed and didn't do it properly. All right, that they broke procurement law. That's what Michael Pintard is saying. Um, uh, so this gentleman right here basically it says opposition leader Michael Pintard gave notice on when intention to table at the next sitting of Parliament contracts signed by the government, which he claims failed to meet legal requirements. Failed to meet legal requirements. This gentleman is so lost as a leader of opposition. I am terrified to think of what would happen if this gentleman would ever become the prime minister of this country. We would definitely be a cursed nation, a cursed nation. Ladies and gentlemen, this man does not know what to do. He has no clue, no idea. All he knows is that his mission is to be a puppet for Brent Simonet, and he has no other plan or ideas. And what he wants to do is keep mentioning stuff. I see my, I'm sorry, but I see my camera is a little foggy. Just give me a second. Let me see what I can do with that. Okay, see, we get her back on there. That's on YouTube. All right. Hopefully that's straight. But this gentleman, what he does is he tries to every so often when there's nothing that could offend the elites or offend the status quo, he will just mention something, you know. But he's not out there fighting for the people. He's not out there anything that affects the people themselves. He has no interest in that, and so um, he is now talking about some contracts. Let me educate the Bahamian people as we always do. If the government is breaking the law as it relates to the issuing of contracts, the opposition's job is to take them to court with a judicial review. That's the purpose of a judicial review. The opposition is the police of parliament. They are the persons empowered to police the executives and the governing party in the House of Assembly. That's their job. So when you break the law, the police job is to put you before the courts so that the courts, the judges, the magistrates can make sure that you are in line or you're punished for whatever you did wrong. That's his job as it relates to the governing party and the executive. His job is to file judicial reviews so that they can stop what they're doing. So if this guy knew what he was doing, what he would do is file a judicial review. They have tons of lawyers in the FNM. File a judicial review. and make sure that all of those contracts that they did that did not meet the legal requirement or were unlawful, that they are null and void. That is so simple. That is, I don't even know what else to explain. But of course, he wants to be able to say, I did something, I tabled it in the House of Assembly, and then just let it go away. So that when election season heats up, he can say, and I spoke out and I tabled the contract. Okay, but then what did you do? And so you've seen over the years, Perry Christian, Hubert Ingram, of course, they were working together, so they would never do anything really against each other, not anything that would affect them in a major way. And so we didn't expect them to use their powers of the PAC. We didn't expect them to file judicial reviews really against each other. Although there was only one that I could remember outside of election court. So why doesn't this guy know what to do? Michael Pintard, we are not interested in you just tabling some documents. You're not an activist. We are interested in you filing a judicial review. If the government is doing anything illegal, you are the PAC. You can summons them before you. You have the power of a judge. That's the power of the chairman of the PAC. You can summons them before you. You can order them to come before you. If they don't come before you, they can be fined or jailed. If they lie to you when they come before you, they can be fined or jailed. That's the law. But you don't want to do that because as far as you're concerned, the Bahamians don't know the law. And so you can just make it seem like you're doing something and that's it. This is another clown and pony show. And this is another act that he's putting on. We're not interested in these acts, all right? We are interested in substantive action from our politicians now. And again, this is why they don't want Lincoln Bain in the House of Assembly. Because why in the House of Assembly, I would exercise the powers of a member of parliament. They know I know the powers, but they know I'm not connected to them. They know they cannot silence me. And so that's the one thing they don't want. That's a nightmare for them. All right. So that's utter nonsense. And so, Michael Pintard, go away with that. We're not interested. All right. But of course, all of the news media is going to cover it. They're going to make it seem like he did such a good job. Oh, he tabled the contract. And then he let them continue on with the nonsense when we're paying him as the PAC to stop them. You say that in the House of Assembly the last time, Adrian White got up and said that the government bought 3 BMWs. If you feel that they did something wrong, then you have the PAC. Bring them before the courts, before your committee, and show the Bahamian public exactly what they did. Force them to bring documents. Make the PAC's hearing public like they do in the United States of America. You have the power to do that. But guess what? You're not going to do that because you don't want to offend Philip Brave Davis because you might not get to go on any more trips with him. And so, ladies and gentlemen, that's Michael Pintard. He, again, is going to put on another show this week, according to him. And he's going to just table contract. Now, after I've said this, of course, that may push him to do more because I seem to be the only one who could whip him into shape. But hopefully it causes him to do more because if that's all he's going to do, Jesus, it's sad. It's sad. It's really, really sad. All right. So that's Michael Pintard. Country's in trouble. Opposition is failing, and we're in trouble. And I will say this, Michael Pintard has still not answered yet to the Bahamian people as to whether he is a drug user or was a drug user and if it affected him mentally. And I'm saying that this is not a petty attack. We are paying him to do a job. He doesn't seem to have the capacity to do that job. And we need to know if there's something that impairs him from doing that job. We need to know exactly what's going on with him because he's paid by us. If you have a young man who's on a job and they give him a test and he's on drugs, then they're going to fire that young man. And so we need him to answer. He did not answer the question about drug use when I confronted him in House of Assembly. We need him to answer that question and possibly take a drug test. He may be waiting some time for it to get out of the system, but we need him to answer that because he is working for us now and we're paying him $50,000 a year, plus a lot of perks that add up to $500,000. And so we need to know. And if he wants to be prime minister, that is also important because that would mean that he's breaking the law, and we need to know if he's a lawbreaker or was a lawbreaker. And it's simple as that. So, Michael Clifton Pintard, we still need you to answer that question for the Bahamian people. But of course, we know you will not answer that question. All right, so let's move on from that. All right. We need serious representation and serious leadership in this country. We've had enough. We put your comments on there so that we can see what everyone is saying all over the platform. All right. All right, so your comments are there. All right, so ladies and gentlemen, that brings us to something else. That brings us to, we're going to ask some information about the parliamentary registry. That thing is going crazy right now. They are doing so much skullduggery that is mind-blowing. Mind-blowing. So we'll get to that a little later. I want to talk a little bit about what's happening on our beach, and then we'll get to that. All right? So I'm going to play a video for you so you can get the gist of what's going on here. I'm going to play a video for you, and let's pull it up for them. I'm going to play a video for you, so you're going to hear Brave Davis' own words and how disgusted he was that the Minister administration would allow those people on Cabbage Beach to be interfered with, and the promises that he made to the people. Well, we got his words, his exact words, what he had to say about all of this. He had some strong words and promises to those people. He said he was going to even take the land. This is Philip Brave Davis' words. Because you know what this is not anyone's telling you what he said. This is him.
First of all, I'm very infuriated because I've never seen a government that has shown so much contempt for ordinary people. There's no utter contempt. For example, ask you all to get your medical that you had to pay for, get your police record that you had to pay for, right? And apply for your license in these times when you were shut down for so long.
I gotta pay some people to pay,
and then to have this happen to you without any compassion. Without any compassion to understand what it is that you are going through. At the very least, whoever is responsible for taking your stalls down, what you need to account for that.
That's right.
Because they had no right to move your stalls from the public spaces that you occupy.
That's right.
Because you have had permission by your ministry or by the Ministry of Tourism. I've been here for
30 years.
And so I'm concerned. I'm also concerned that having made a complaint, an official complaint to the police about what's happened, that there's been no police action. And so I will be calling Commissioner Police and to find out what is happening with the investigation respect to this matter. I think I think we all know who would have done it.
Yes.
So
it's a private place and the PI is a photo camera. But they call them camera CCTV.
Yes.
And so I wanted to get a fuller understanding what's going on. As you recall, this is not a new issue for us who have been on Cabbage Beach.
85.
Yeah, right? We would have we would, when I was deputy prime minister, we were considering, we were considering acquiring property,
Yes.
right? For the public good.
That's right.
And we were going to even build hot showers.
Yes.
That was the plan.
Yeah, that was the plan.
Of course, we got without fine. That's okay. People have the right to choose what they wish. But I can assure you that plan has not been abandoned by me.
Thank you.
Good.
All right then. All right then.
Because at the end of the day, it's about you.
That's right.
Right? And a country too often being overlooked.
Yeah.
Overlooked as more people. See, I've been there, you know. And yes, I know it is. Maybe underestimated because of where I came from.
There you go.
Because of the station in my life.
Yeah. Philip Brave Davis caught lying again. Ladies and gentlemen, that what you just heard was Politics 101. Evil Dark Politics 101. He went out there after the COI took action to help these people, like we always tell Pintard to do. We always tell him to go and take action, not just talk. So when these foreigners locked the gate and put all of these Bahamians' properties, their chairs, their umbrellas, and everything, they threw them across the street, dumped them across the street. The COI didn't just go there and make a fancy speech. We went there and, along with these persons, took down that gate. We opened that gate and we grabbed, and this was the second time we had to do that. The first time we were arrested and we were on bail for about 2 years. But it was worth fighting for. And so we took all of their stuff and put it back. After some time, you know, the supporters of Brave told him it looks really bad that Lincoln and his team went out there and you did not come. And most of us on this beach support you. And so he decided to just go and do a photo op and talk to the people and tell them how bad Minister was for what he allowed and how evil it was for them to take their stuff and that they should be locked up. And because we also took the people to the police station to file complaints. All right, we took action. And he came out there and talked and, of course, did nothing. And this is what you keep seeing with politicians. There was a fire on Portsky Dock, and Pintard, of course, we heard rumors that Brent Simon wanted to take over Portsky Dock. And so his puppet Pintard happened to be the Minister of Agriculture, etc., Fisheries, responsible for Portsky Dock. And we were told that they were blocking these people from rebuilding. And we were told that Pintard and his crew someone from the ministry instructed the police to stop us from helping those people, to not let us help them. Brave and those came out there, did a photo op. Other persons came, did a photo op. But we came out there and spent our money. We ordered dump trucks and tractors, and we came out there and we cleaned the place up. And we took action. We were not just politicians. We don't just talk, we take action. And so here again, we took action. But Brave Davis came with all that talk, promised these people the world. And a lot of them voted for him, you know. They voted for him. And after voting for him, now they're back in. But I want those people to remember, and you got to remember this when you vote. The politicians don't care about you. They care about themselves. It was the PLP government who initially did a secret deal. Obi Wilscombe did a secret deal, gave a letter to that company to give them access to that right of way. Obi Wilscombe did that. It was exposed. We exposed it. It made the news. Everyone saw it. It was embarrassing. And they had to pull back on what they was doing. So the PLP, I believe, took a bribe in order to do what they did. Don't you think that once they got in, they would continue with that? Don't you think that they would force this to now happen because they got to pay their debt to these people if that's what happened? Bahamians have to stop being fooled by politicians and letting politicians fool them, like the unions. We keep getting the bad end of the stick. So right now, these people on Paradise Island are meeting with some of these guys and promising them they're going to promising them, let us give you a couple of dollars to get lost. Let's give you a couple of dollars. And there's some people who want to take, a couple of dollars to get lost, sell their birthright. And then all Bahamians are going to lose access to that beach. I have the documents from that, and I can tell you that they have no intentions to allow Bahamians to continue full unfettered access to that beach. They're saying over the next 3 years, because it's a construction site, that's one of the reasons that Bahamians will be blocked. But it's not about the construction. Once they get Bahamians off of that beach, because they made the same promise with the access on the other side, closer to Ocean Club. There was another access there that you could have walked through. They said, oh, we're only closing it temporarily. They sneak it on you. Don't worry about nothing. We just close it temporary. Every so often, we'll just close it just for safety's sake. And then when we lock, nothing. We lock. Now it's locked permanently. All right? And so they're promising that, we're going to give you a 15-foot access. We're going to give you a 15-foot access to the beach. But then, although they said 15-foot access, they're actually doing this there container, 8-foot wide container. So that's not 15-foot. 8-foot wide container for people to walk through to get to the beach. I personally spoke to the representative from the development, and they said that the tourists won't be allowed to come here. They said the tourists won't be allowed to come here. Only the vendors will be allowed to come through this. So the vendors will be allowed to come through, but not the tourists. What does that mean? That means the vendors won't have a reason to come. The public, the tourists, etc., no way. The vendors, and only the vendors, will be able to come through. What's the point of that? There's documentation that shows that, and I'm pulling it up as I speak, that they only, even though they're saying 15-foot wide, document on the screen now, it says 8-foot wide, right on here in the document, right there, right to the bottom part of the document. Wet beach access, 8-foot wide container structure for months, 16 to 36 of construction. After that, you're going to have 8-foot wide access. All right? That's it. When you actually look at this, and this is not just about the vendors having access, this is all of our beach. Because now what is about to happen is this is the only beach access, slowly but surely. You know how you kill a frog, boil a frog? Just increase the water heat gradually. And that's what they did us on Paradise Island. We don't even know when they took all of our beach access. You used to be able to go on the beach on the side where Holiday Inn used to be one time ago. Remember that? Used to be able to go by where there was 2 entrances by next to the Rio and one next to I think it's called Sunrise out there, and another access was by the laundry on the other side, almost in the direction of the cloisters. Now all of those accesses have gone away, all of them, and the only access now is this access. And now they're going to take that with an excuse that construction means they have to take it. All right. And so, of course, Bahamians are going to fall for that. Bahamians are passive people. And so, okay, if we can't go on Paradise Island, we just can't go on Paradise Island. Wow. So Lyndon Bindlin said, if you're not ready to fight for it, you don't deserve to have it. And it hurts me. It really hurts me when I see my Bahamian people sit down and let themselves be abused like this over and repeatedly. Be so easily willing to sell their souls, their birthright. Let me show you some more of these documents before I move on. Brave lied and said that, see, this is documents that is from this company. All right? This is documents. It's their documents. In fact, let me screen share and make this easier to flow because I keep going through and through these, but I want you to see these more easily. Give me one sec. Let me pull these up. You know, it saddens me that Bahamians are so easily willing to sell their souls and that politicians sell the people out, and that Bahamians, even more so, keep trusting these politicians. Makes a promise, and we say, "Oh well, he say he can do this. He say he ain't gonna do that." And then when they do, it's like, "Oh Lord." Well, anyway, yeah, whatever. I can let the Lord deal with him. My Lord. Who's gonna fight for the people? All right, I'm gonna pull this up for you right now. Just give me one sec. All right, there we go. All right, so ladies and gentlemen, the question is, what do we do now? Do we stand up and fight for Cabbage Beach, or we just let that go? You know, that's okay. That's just more money for the politicians. You know, they probably took some money under the table, and they probably need the money. You know, we don't need it. They probably need it more than us. And so, let's let the politicians have their way. So as the first document I showed you, this is the study they did on the area. This is the container they're putting there. This here is what they're saying is going to happen there, $300 million, and what they're going to build, this high-rise thing. This is the beach access during construction, public access to Cabbage Beach, enhanced post-construction access. All right. And it's a permanent 15-foot wide landscape area. But when you look at, even though they say 15 foot, look carefully. I'm going to zoom in. They put in the fine print. This is the map in here. That says 8 foot wide. See? Even though they're saying 15 foot, they here are saying 8 foot wide concrete path. They seem to talk about the 8 foot wide container thing during the construction. This is saying 8 foot wide concrete path. So they are saying one thing, but the truth is clear that they are lying to the Bahamian people. All right. And so the entrance may be 15 foot, but the path to walk is going to be 8 foot wide. None of that matters because that's not their land to mess with. And we have to decide if we are going to fight for this or not. It's just simple as that. So they're saying they promising they could build these little stuff. And of course, you know what always happens. Yeah, we could do this, we could do that. Then it never happens. And they say, you all remember when they said they was going to build these little huts for us? They ain't never build them. They ain't never happen. And then we always get swing. Over and over and over. All right. And they said they could build it and rent it to the people. All right. Employment and training opportunity is slavery. All right. Economic impact. Yeah. Commitment to Raymond products. Okay. This is what they say they're gonna build. Nice building. Looking forward to it. I have no problem with them building this. My problem is, why do you have to take our right of way to the beach? Because you're building this. That's my problem. Here's the plans. All right. This right here is the right of way in question. This on the side here. There's no reason for them to block this off because they're building over here. In fact, they could go over. Just don't build so close to this. But they are building, these are the buildings, this the part over here. Why you got to interrupt us? It's because the interruption is not about safety. It's about something else. All right, this is the property. So we got all the documents. Now we always have the documents. And so this is it. And so look where their land is. What you see in their plans, look carefully. They got the umbrellas and the chairs and everything right in there. Who that is? Because it's uniform. That's theirs. So what they really plan to do, see all the beach chairs right here? These are beach chairs. These are umbrellas. They want to offer that. You see? They want to offer that. And they put their property, they put the line all the way up here to the water. They want to offer this, and they want to get rid of those people who are there. That's the reason for all of this. All right? That's the reason for all of this. Yeah. So here again, documentation, and you can see 8-foot path, existing land ownership. So I can't read through all this, but I just wanted to show you documentation. So when I talk, I know exactly what I am talking about. I know exactly what I am referring to. And so we have to decide as a people, what are we going to fight? Or are we just going to let this continue on the way it's been? Just let the foreigners, benefit, and we get nothing. Maybe that's what we should do. And how about that? How about that? It's a shame. All right. And so they're going to take the bread out of the mouths of those people. They are going to be, this is what I believe, they're going to be offering the beach chairs, etc. I should have. They're going to be selling the drinks, etc. This is big money involved in this. I want you to know that. I should have saved this. I should have transferred this to you so you could actually see this. Because those people are making money on that beach. They're making some good money on that beach. Let me just open it up on my device and then show it to you. This is one of their menus. Sideways. Okay, let's see how we can do this. Sorry about that. Let me make this right. I'm sorry. Oops. Yeah, so basically what I'll do is I'll just read it to you. This is their menu that one of them have. And it has drinks. One drink with 2 refills is $30. The drink packages, right? 4 refills is one drink with 6 refills is $50. $100 is all you can drink. So this is what Bahamians are offering out there. All right, all you can drink. They're selling beers out there, $10 for 1, $20 for 3. Shots are $10 for 1, $20 for 3. Water and soda, 1 water or soda is $3. 2 is $5. All right. Bottled soda is $5 for 1. Gatorade is $5 for 1. So they have been making some good money out there. All right, this has been slow. Some of them experienced some slow stuff recently, but they've been making some good money out there. And there's a lot of money potential in this. Can you imagine $100 all you can drink, or $30 for one drink? So they're selling, and people are buying it. While we were out there filming, I saw tourists walking, and that's why I got interested. I saw the tourists walking with pineapple, and the pineapple has a drink in it. So they have the pineapple shell, and the drink is in it. You know, they sell a coconut with the coconut drink in it, but they had a pineapple, and that's, any tourist would want that, and they came to the beach for that, and it was beautiful, and so they paid for that. I don't know how much they paid for it, but they paid a good money for that, and that's what these hotels want to do. I'm told that the Rio did that. They started offering products that Bahamians offered, and this is where the problem comes in. We got to fix this country. And so basically what is going to happen, because the PLP has clearly sold us out on this, and the FNM has sold us out on this, because we see that one of the House Negro FNM trolls, his name is Hank Ferguson. We saw him there with those people at the meeting, with the builders. That's the same person who was working with Brent Simonet, to try to get him to take over. Is working with Brent Simonet's people to take over Morgan's Bluff and Andres, so they could come and mine their natural resources that they say don't exist and ain't worth nothing. And so they're willing to come there, and they're willing to offer bribes to person so that they could do what they have to do. And now he is coming to offer bribes to person. He told me that himself. They're going to offer bribes to get off that beach to move. The person who from the resort, she said that they're going to come there and build, so they're just going to have to try to find these people some other job somewhere or something. That's how cold she was. That these people that has been their livelihood and their business for 40 years, and you want to come on their land, kick them off their land, and say they just got to go find one other job somewhere. That's acceptable to our politicians. And you notice you don't see Pintard out there. You don't see him out there. Who's going to fight for the Bahamian people? That's the question. Who's going to stand up and fight for the Bahamian people? Are some of the people on the beach going to sell out? And if some sell out, should all sell out? Are they going to make them feel like, listen, we can do this anyway, so they take this couple dollars and go? It's a good question. All right. So we got to do something with our country. So I just wanted to touch on that. We're getting a lot of information from the registrar department. I saw a video clip recently from Beyond Headlines. Well, before I go there, last thing I want to say about this, I just want to show you, how biased the media is. I got to show you this. They did a news story on this, and they just repeated the words of Chester Cooper, even though he wouldn't respond to them, and of these foreigners with the lies that they're now spewing. And and I was on there on the beach, and they came to interview me. They interviewed me more than they interviewed the other people, but they did a news story, and what they did was cut me out totally from the news story. Of course, political season has started, and I really don't care, right? But because I just want the story to get out there. But they interviewed me, and the things that I said were critical, important. And they cut me out, and they only showed the vendors talking, which was also important. But this is what they do. You see, they pretended that I wasn't there. So watch this news story. Watch how they cut me
Are
out.
growing increasingly uncertain about their future. This as government and the developers have promised to protect their businesses during the ongoing construction. Layla Sands has the details tonight.
Vendors at Cabbage Beach are expressing growing concerns about their future as a $300 million hotel development by a private developer moves forward, threatening to displace 84 local vendors. Once completed, the hotel will restrict public access to the beach, potentially turning it into a private property and leaving vendors without their livelihoods. Sherelle Forbes, the owner of Sherelle's Hair Braiding, who has been selling her services at Cabbage Beach for years, spoke emotionally about the prospect of losing her stall, calling it a loss of everything she's known.
I don't even know what to say because my heart is hurting because this is all I know. This is all I know. I have 5 children and 9 grandchildren, okay? And when you take away from me, you take it away from them.
Frederick Isaacs, another longtime business owner at the beach, candidly expressed his concerns over what he feels are broken promises related to the development.
We don't know what we're facing. We don't know what to expect. Because they lied to us, you know. They told us that nothing was going to happen to us, that our access wasn't going to be blocked away, and we'll have access to operate and to deal with our tourists. So now they're saying something else. We had a meeting this morning. They said something totally different. And it's like they don't want to even hear what the people have to say.
Ishmael Sutherland, who has been operating under his business, Sun Chairs and Umbrellas, at Cabbage Beach for over 30 years, is appealing to the government for assistance, stressing the importance of keeping their businesses running to support their families.
I want to appeal to the government because that's who in charge right now. They have to help us. They have to do something because it's going to be crazy. It's over 40, 50 vendors out here with different families they have to feed. And this is serious. This is nothing to play with. This is our livelihood. This is what we do each and every day to feed our families and to feed ourselves.
Eyewitness News reached out to Deputy Prime Minister Chester Cooper for clarification on the situation on Friday. But as of now, we have yet to receive a response regarding the vendor's future at the popular tourist destination. However, in a recent interview on Monday, when asked about the concerns, Cooper reassured the public that the vendors would not be negatively affected by the development.
There will be public beach access uninterrupted for Bahamians, vendors and visitors and guests. So that will go unchanged.
Stay tuned as this story develops. Leila Sands, Eyewitness News.
Well, in response through various reports, Ocean Club officials report that they had numerous meetings with vendors and that they have assured that beach access will be provided during construction, which is expected to take some 3.5 years. The developers and their contractors also plan to employ shipping containers to create safe passage through the construction site during a 19-month period in the middle of the build-out so that vendors can continue business. And while they say that beach access will be managed through the final 6 months of construction, the developers also say they plan to build permanent kiosks for vendors along the beach access route. Ocean Club officials insisting that no regulated vendors are being banned from the site and all will have access.
So they said they didn't play what I said because I quoted exactly what the developers had told me that day. All right. And we have evidence of everything that they told me. They didn't play anything that I said. They pretended like they didn't interview me. They interviewed me more than all of those people combined, but they didn't show it. Okay. And so that's how the media sells itself out. And they said in response to various reports. So they're saying this is what they said one time ago in some other reports, right? This is the lies they said. But instead of saying what is current or saying that these people just didn't respond to them, they seem to still be defending. And the fact that they're doing that means that the government is in bed with them and probably the news outlet got some instructions to report it in that way. All right. And so Bahamians are going to lose all access to Paradise Island. They are saying basically that it's going to be mostly during that period. I remember there was a time when I was living on Paradise Island and the police, when holidays come up, the police would I think this was after Access bought the area, but the police would No, this was before that too. The police would put up a barricade to where you come to that street and block Bahamians from coming on that beach. They would put a barricade, and police would be standing. Oh, sorry, security guards would be standing there. All right, not police. Security guards would be standing there, and they would ask you where you're going and tell you can't go to the beach. So at one point they did that to me. And as I pulled up, I saw other payments being turned around, and I pulled up, and they said, so where are you going? I said, that's not your business. They said, well, you can't come this way. And I said, why not? They said, well, we're not allowing people to come this way. It was a holiday. People want to go on the beach. And I said, you can't stop me from coming this way. This is a public road, and you're a security guard, not a police officer. So you need to move this barricade or I'm going to move it. And I spoke to them sternly, and I told them to get out of the road. And they removed the barricade and let me through. I'm tired of seeing Bahamians treated like second-class citizens in this country. I'm tired of Bahamians treated like dirt in this country. I'm sick of it. Every time there's something between a Bahamian and a foreigner, the government seems to get there under the table to do, and the Bahamians get screwed. And we still go right back there and vote for them. Oh, look, we got a political troll in there. The person says, let me see how long we can entertain them on here. They said, Lincoln, stop lying. You want money out of the cookie jar. Let me put it up there on the screen for you. Lincoln, stop lying. You want money in the cookie jar. That's Misselin Joseph. Misselin Joseph. This is my country. All right? And that cookie jar belongs to me and every Bahamian. That ain't none of your business. First of all. Second of all, we are tired. Of these same politicians raping and robbing this cookie jar. We're sick of it. And so what we want to do is take the cookie jar and give it to the Bahamian people. That's what we want. I don't want a cookie jar. I want to take that cookie jar and throw it out the window to the Bahamian people. That's what we want. I good. You're ain't tired of the same, well, you ain't tired because they probably give you some papers or something. But we tired of the same politicians, not their hand in the cookie jar, they sitting in the cookie jar. They driving the BMWs we paying for. They eating the steak and caviar that we paying for. They living their best life and we ain't supposed to have nothing as a people. Come off this live and go vote for the PLP, please. Because you hate this country. In fact, I'll leave that right there. Ladies and gentlemen, we got to stand up and fight for this. Something is happening. If y'all don't stand up and fight for this, you don't deserve to have it. Brave and them are organizing themselves to take this country from y'all. And so one set of foreigners could take it on one side, the other side could take it on another side. If y'all don't come together, if y'all allow politics to keep y'all divided, if y'all don't come and stand up and fight, if y'all don't come and stand up and help us fight, this country's going to be gone. Talk about a couple more things because I want to open the phone line. The phone lines in short order. A couple more things we got to touch on before we do that. Let me just quickly touch on these things for y'all. So, I saw a video that the government put out about them doing something for the cost of living. Again, these people are so lost and they really don't want to do anything with the cost of living. So they put these stuff out there that won't do anything because they want the cost of living high because they make more money from VAT. So instead of having to raise taxes, their strategy was to raise the cost of everything so they still collect more taxes. You get it? So instead of them, they couldn't come to you and say, okay, we're going to raise VAT to 20% as it was originally planned. What they decided, okay, instead of raising it to 20%, all right, which means that if something costs $10 and it's 20%, they get $2. Right now they get $1. All right, but if they raise it 20%, they'll get $2. But what they could do is let that thing that costs $10 raise to $20, and now they're getting the 20% without having to raise it to 20%. Do you get it? If eggs was $2, they're actually getting more than that. That was just an example for you to understand. If eggs was $2, now it's $10. Do you see what just happened? If eggs was $2 and the VAT is 10%, I know it was 12 back then, but if VAT was 10% and it was $2, then they get 20 cents. But if VAT is 10% and the egg is now $10, they get $1. Do you see how they bamboozle us? we gotta wake up as a people. So this is a little video they did talking about the cost of living and what they're gonna do. So listen to this video. I got 2 videos here for them with this nonsense about the cost of living.
So first of all, everyone knows that the cost of living in the Bahamas is astronomical. We can all feel it. We go in the grocery stores and we see the prices escalating. So some of the things that the government is doing to combat the cost of living and the high price of goods are 3 things, namely, that we're working on now. 1 is trade diversification. So we're going to diversify where we get our goods from and have more diversity of products and also cost savings. 2, we are introducing competition legislation so that we can bring some new entrants to various industries in the country. We're going to stop predatory pricing, stop monopolistic practices, and that's going to have an effect on prices in our country as well. And thirdly, as you said, we are going to introduce a price comparison app. So no longer will you have to go to 3, 4, and 5 stores to look at the price of a particular item to determine what is the best store. You'll be able to go on your phones, launch the app, and compare prices of various goods across the country.
Okay, let's look at this solution again. Well, before that, I'm going to go back to I'm going to go to the next video so you can see what Brave says is the solution, and we'll come back. All right, class is in session. I want you to stay focused. Class is in session. Hold on one sec. Let me pull up the next video for you. This is what Brave said recently. This is a news article on what he said, because they're gonna, every little thing they say and do now is gonna make the news, and they're gonna make it the same as if it's only PLP and FM out there. It's ridiculous, but okay, let's go.
The ministry is devising a plan to remove the middleman in the food importation business that Prime Minister Philip Davis says will alleviate inflationary pressures on residents. Davis making those promises at a PLP branch meeting earlier this week as he lamented the high cost of living that remains a vexing issue for Bahamians. He says that it's a measure residents can expect alongside the recent VAT reduction on food items. It's one that Davis believes will be a sigh of relief for consumers.
We are going to diversify the supply chain so we can get the same goods at cheaper prices. The same beef and other products that we currently buy in a particular area in the United States, we are going to make it easier to bring them in directly from where they got it from. We need to cut out the middleman. We need to cut out. There's no reason why meat from Brazil should go to Florida, passing us, imported there, and then come back down to us. Right? We are now setting in train a place where we can do it directly. Now those other fellas may be quiet now, but it ain't gonna be long before they start talking about why the people who own everything need protection. It ain't gonna be long before they start saying how we shouldn't change this and we shouldn't change that.
Okay. Yeah. So now I want to test your knowledge. All right. I want to test your knowledge. So let me see how smart my Bahamian people are getting. So let me see if you can tell what's wrong with this solution. All right. The other video had a bunch of nonsense in it also, but let me see if you can tell what's wrong with this solution right here. So Brave Davis and them are saying basically that the government is going to cut out the middleman and they're going to start buying meat from Brazil or wherever else they want to buy it. All right. So tell me what's wrong with that. Let me look in the comments. Tell me what's wrong. He says that the government is going to cut out the middleman and they're going to start buying meat from and other stuff, products from Brazil and other places, so they don't have to buy it from America. And of course, in the end, you heard him saying that the oligarchs, the wholesalers, are going to start complaining, etc. That's what he was saying. So tell me what's wrong with this. Tell me what's wrong with this. Anybody? I'm waiting. Someone says government is a middleman. Tell me what's wrong with that statement. Because they think that Bahamians are still stupid. Let me see. Let me see if anyone catch on to it. He said the government is gonna start buying stuff from other countries and to cut out the middleman. All right. Let me says no FDA. All right. They will be buying the meat. Good answer. Look out. There you go. Marvin Starr, go to the head of the glass. That was quick. The government don't buy groceries. What in the hell is Brave Davis talking about? The wholesalers buy groceries or you buy your own groceries. The government don't buy groceries to sell. So what, Brave Davis, y'all are going to start selling groceries? Is that what it is? Jesus. And they just say these stuff, and that's why they keep you uneducated, and that's why their base is the poor and uneducated. They because PRP is the party of the poor, so of course they're going to keep you poor because otherwise they would lose their base. So why would they do anything other than keep you poor? And they have to keep you dumb and uneducated because that's their base also. They're the party of the dumb and uneducated. So they can say that and people can clap and say, yeah, we're going to cut out the middleman. We're going to buy direct. The government don't buy. And you're saying that the people who actually do the buying, the wholesalers, are going to be mad with you because of this? What is... I mean, and I literally heard people clapping for that. Like... My country. And that's their big solution to fixing the cost of living. We're going to cut out the middleman and we're going to buy directly from South America and wherever else. Because we used to conquer. Oh my God. Yeah. All right. So, and I mean, they even did videos with that. I mean, like, oh, that's a big solution. How about cutting the cost of energy? All right. Not this little fake thing that you're all trying to say it's winter now, so price is going to go down. How about cutting the cost of energy by allowing competition in the energy sector? How about going solar? We have a 10-point plan for reducing costs. I was going to do it on this show, but we didn't have time for that. How about solar? Going solar. Reduce the cost of energy. How about reducing the cost of fuel? Because the cost of fuel causes prices to be high, because if the businesses got to pay more for fuel, like super value, etc., the price is going to be high. If they got to pay more for electricity, they put that price in the food. We just need real government. All right? Real government. So for everyone who heard that, my job is to educate you every week. It's nonsense. Don't listen to a word he is saying. That's like when they said they were going to give free electricity. They didn't have no plan to give free electricity. Zero plan. All right? So that's it. Someone says, how about buying Bahamian? Yeah. How about reigniting agriculture in the Bahamas so that we can actually buy here? I thought it was so stupid to be talking about importing meat and vegetables from another country to reduce the cost when you can just grow your vegetables and meat here on our 700 islands? And people are clapping for them to say that we're going to buy meat from Brazil. We're going to buy vegetables from here. So we're not going to grow it here. You know why? Because they're still, if that was to happen, they're still importing it, and someone is still making the money from importing it instead of growing it right here and keeping the money in our economy. That is the most idiotic and stupid idea, stupidest idea that I've ever heard. We can give grants to our 700 licensed farmers, build up the farming industry, make them be able to sell directly to wholesalers here in the country instead of blocking them from doing so. Let our fruits in super value, fruits and vegetables come from our farms. They block them from selling directly to super value. Why do you think that is? Why do you think that is? Come on, man. Come on. Let's wake up, Bahamas. Stop falling for these people and their nonsense. That's just like his whistle suggestion. We're going to reduce the price by cutting out the middleman. How about cutting out all the man? How about growing it right here? And people clap for that. They clapped. Jesus. I'll screenshot that and what I just said and send that to Brave, please. If I go on to the next thing, this person made a comment right here. Very interesting comment, right? Let's see if we can pull it up. Yeah, it's coming up in a second. This person made a comment again. This person with this, Michelin Joseph. Lincoln Bain, I am a Bahamian, and my name is Joanna Miller. I am Bahamian, okay? I believe you. I believe you. Because passports are for sale right now. Passports are for sale. And so you very well might have a Bahamian passport. And you very well might have changed your name from that to that. And so, yeah, your name could be this, but maybe it was that. We see that going on, and you're showing yourself. Michelin Joseph, Joanna Miller, I just want you to know that we have a duty to protect this country, and if you actually are Bahamian and love this country, you have a duty to protect this country too. So you should stand with our stance to protect this country. We're not hating on anybody. We don't hate anybody else. We don't hate Haitians or anybody. But we got to protect this country. We don't want this country to go down because of corruption. Ladies and gentlemen, this right here that you're looking at, this is what's happening in this country right now. What? Let me make this screen share this and make this big on the screen so y'all can see exactly. I want y'all to see this clear. What's happening in this country? Let me open this up for you. And this is this, Michelin Joseph made a great point that they are Bahamian and that their name is no longer Michelin Joseph. It is now Joanna Miller. We've seen it every day. Thank you, Joanna, for bringing that to our attention. All right. Now, I want you to see this that was going around recently. Look, make this big for y'all. This right here is notice in the paper. Public notice, intend to change name by deed poll. When we come into power, you are not going to be able to do a deed poll to change your last name easily in this country. No one of foreign origin will be able to change their last name in this country. That deed poll foolishness. Now, you change your first name to whatever you want, but you can't have our last names. I want you to see this. And I'm going to do a quiz when I didn't show you just to see if you realize what's going on. This person on the top is changing their name from Ji Zhao Liu of number 13 Ocean Club Estate, I mean, the East Side got money, to Cheryl Davis. Okay? Cheryl Davis. All right. This next one, Queen Ji Cheng of the same address, Ocean Club Estates, changing their name. Let me see that same P.O. box too. Yep, same P.O. box. To Kiara Davis. Boy, these real Bahamian names. Kiara Davis. Jesus. This one, yeah, this is a different one. All right. So we'll skip that. Zhao Chang of the same number 113 Ocean Club is changing their name to Axel Davis. Axel Davis. Okay? Now, I wanted to show you that. So that's probably what the Joseph lady who was on here did. Right? Probably. All right? So now, someone, please tell me, why would those Chinese be changing their name to raw Bahamian names? Tell me, someone. What? The person says my number is 522-6511. Okay, you can call in the show when I open the phone lines in a second. All right. Just want to touch on a couple things. Why would they be changing their name to Bahamian names? Davis is selling his last name. Davis selling everything. He's selling his last name and all. Tell me why they are changing their last name to a common Bahamian name. This is the vote in the upcoming election. Yeah, I think Chinese really care much about that. They have the passport. Yeah, that's why they're changing their name. They have to have gotten the passport. But why are they changing their names? I'll tell you. They are changing their names because they want to easily migrate to America. Of course, Trump is coming in, and Trump is gonna change some things, especially related to China and other countries. You can travel easier when you are a Bahamian with Bahamian name. See, even if you have a Haitian name and you're a Bahamian, they're gonna still, if you want to migrate, if you want to migrate. And so those people clearly want to migrate. You understand? They clearly want to migrate. And so it's better for them because there are Chinese, people of Chinese origin who are genuine Bahamians. And so they want to get in. Next one's a crown land grab. Good answer. But they want to migrate to America. And it's easier to do it with a new name. All right. It could even be spies or other persons connected to the regime in China. Could be. I don't know that. And it's better to come here, change your name, and then migrate there. You understand? So, wake up, Bahamas. Y'all have what the world wants. Everything y'all have is valuable. Everything. I'm going to send that to Trump. I'm going to do just that. I'm going to send it to his people. Everyone wants what y'all have, but y'all keep selling it out to the highest bidder. Y'all keep letting y'all politicians do it, and y'all participate in it by voting for them. We got to fix this country. All right? We got to fix this country. Because this is all we got. Two more things. I'm sure you saw the announcement where the water in New Providence, now we keep hearing about the Family Islands, etc. We keep hearing about the Family Islands. But now the water in New Providence, they're saying they're conserving water, so you have to bathe by a certain time of day in New Providence in the 21st century. Can you believe this? They're saying that the water is going to be low or whatever at night. Let me pull this up for you. So they made an announcement, I think it was yesterday. Reduced water pressure expected in New Providence for the next 7 to 10 days. In New Providence, Jesus. How is it How is it that in 2025, 25 now, this is the future, you know. We didn't pass where the movie was, remember Back to the Future? When it was in the future and all these good things was going on and the hoverboards and all this kind of stuff. We didn't pass that year. All right? We in 2025. And instead of us talking about these major projects like other countries and major things that we could be doing to improve and impress the world, we still talking about water. And they celebrating themselves water and electricity. And they want us to vote for them. Water and electricity. I have a video of a dock in Crooked Island and some other stuff. I'm going to leave them. I'm going to open the phone lines. 803-5995 is the number. 803-5995. What do you think about all the stuff that we talked about today? We're looking forward to launching our Vision 2030 very soon. We're looking forward to that. It's the People's Plan. It's a plan to actually empower the Bahamian people. This is the number you can call in. Tell me what you think about the stuff that we talked about today. All of our solutions are going to be about empowering the Bahamian people. This isn't going to be just about projects, etc. This go around, this one is going to be about every plan is going to be a plan to empower the Bahamian people. Every plan is going to be to empower the Bahamian people. So the line is open. You can call WhatsApp call or regular call, 803-5995, 803-5995. That's the phone numbers that you can call in, 803-5995. All right, so you can call in, 803-5995. And of course, we want to give our deepest sympathy to one of our supporters and a prospective candidate in Grand Bahama, Ms. Tony Stubbs Albury. She lost her oldest brother, Mr. Philip Stubbs, so we want to give our deepest sympathy. Also, we're going to give condolences to Sister Voynell Gibson. Voynell Gibson lost a family member, and so she lost her brother, Clarence Gibson. And so you have our deepest sympathy. There's nothing we can say in times like these. Oh, I'm so sorry. The phone was on silent. Let me take that off silent. Caller, you're live. Hold 1 sec. Let me just take this off silent. Don't forget. All right, go ahead, caller. You're live.
A small question, just wanted to know, after we become president, when will the Bahamians receive funds from their sovereign wealth fund? And how long would it take?
All right, good question, man. Appreciate it.
All right, thanks, sir.
Yeah. And so basically what we're doing is when we get in, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to offer services. We're going to offer benefits from our natural resources. And so those benefits are going to be things like we're going to offer water free. We think that water is a human right, so that should be free. And so we're going to offer that first. We've already studied how much it's going to cost to do it. It's going to cost about $70 million to get that done. And there's other things that we're going to roll out first. Now, when the money comes in from the natural resources, though that money is going to be invested. So the money from the natural resources isn't going to be issued out. That's going to be invested the way Dubai and Norway and them does it. And once the money rolls in after about a year, then we're going to pay out dividends from the investment. All right. And so it's going to be just over a year, and we're going to start paying out dividends. And so the money is going to be made. The money is going to be invested, multiplied. I've already spoken to persons in the industry, stockbrokers, etc., who are willing to head that area up. And so that money is going to be invested. When the return on investments comes in, then we're going to start issuing out what we have to issue. All right. And so that's how it's going to work. So it's not going to just be, oh, we sell this amount of sand and we make this amount of dollars and then we issue money from the dollars. No, that money, the principal money, is going to be safe forever for future generations, the way that Norway does it. And you're going to be able to invest a portion of that to be safe. It's not going to be risky investment, to be safe. And as the return on investment comes in, you're going to get your benefits from the return on investments. All right. So the first thing is Crown land. We're going to issue Crown land to every Bahamian. You're going to be entitled to that, every living Bahamian. All right, at this time. And so, sorry, adult Bahamian is going to be able to get their piece of the Crown land. Then we're going to start rolling out projects like water. Water should be a human right, and that's going to be free. And then we're going to start rolling out things like electricity, etc. We're going to go solar. And so the only time it's going to take is the time it takes to build our solar facilities. And then electricity is going to be free. And so all of the projects you saw us talking about, it can be done. And so if solar is free, it can be done. All right. And it's going to be built by carbon credits. So we won't have to spend money a lot of money in order to build these solar projects, is because we're going to use the carbon credit system in order to build these facilities in order to give us the free electricity. All right. And it's only free for personal use. Your business will have to pay and other businesses will have to pay. So money is going to be made. Money is going to be made from these things. But for you on a personal level, because we are using your natural resources, we're doing that as a way to pay you back. Go ahead, Carly, you're live.
Okay, I'm listening to you live, right?
Yes, it's Kareem Ancho. Go ahead.
To be clear. Yeah, so you're telling me, okay, the non-tangible resources, you don't mind giving them out. The land, the water, all these things. But when it comes to the money from the seagrass, you're telling me I have to let you invest that? The same thing with Brave. So you tell us why you repealed the sovereign wealth fund and put it and then replace it with investment fund with hopes of getting a dividends. But we're talking $20 billion. We're talking $156 billion. Why you have to invest that for me to get my money when that's $156 billion?
$156 billion. Yeah, 150.
What's your answer?
Thank you, man. $156 billion is the value of it. That's what is valued. And so if you find a gold mine, the value of the gold in that mine is valued a certain amount. That doesn't mean that you have a certain amount. You have to monetize it in order to get it. All right. And so what we're saying is we are going to monetize you're talking about the carbon credits. I was talking about our natural resources. I was talking about our salt, our limestone, and other natural resources, all right, aragonite, et cetera, et cetera. And so I was talking about these. These will be monetized. For example, I don't want to give out exactly how we're going to do everything for competition purposes. But for example, if China, just loose example, China is doing a Belt and Road Initiative, they need sand, all right, in order to do that. They need a lot of concrete. That's lime, that's sand, that's everything else. Hold the line, call. I'll get right with you when I finish answering this question. What we can do is tell them, listen, Australia sells this sand to you guys for $390 a ton, all right, which is the case. And we can sell it to you for $200 a ton. And we can sell it to you for $100 a ton if you buy a certain amount now. We want you to buy this amount. I just call in raw numbers, don't hold me to this. We want you to buy $20 billion worth, and you have access to go in there and take until you reach up to your $20 billion worth at this price. But we want that money up front now so that we can now invest it to our projects, et cetera, et cetera. And that's how it works. We just have to go in there and negotiate deals, all right? And negotiate from a position of strength, and you negotiate like a boss. There are countries that are trying to expand their landmass, like we've shown in our documentaries. China has already expanded about 4,000 square miles in their coastal areas. Other countries like Singapore, et cetera, they are running out of land. They need to expand their landmass. They need sand to do it and other things. So we can tell, and they can't buy it from their neighbors readily anymore. So they're buying on the black market, apparently, we believe, through the sand mafia, etc. But now they can buy legitimate sand, and they can buy renewable sand, and there's carbon credits for that also, which is aragonite. And they can use that to do what they're doing instead of doing it the way they're doing now. And we're going to get in the market, and we're going to make this happen, all right? And from what we make from it, if we make $100 billion from it, we bank that for our future generations. We become a powerful nation. That sounds like big money to you, but that ain't no money for regular countries like Brazil and other countries, and even in our hemisphere. That's not any money. And so we're going to multiply that, and then we're going to pay out dividends from the return on investment. I hope you understand that. So the principle we want to keep safe so that our country is able to grow and become a great nation like Qatar, that was once a poor nation, poorer than us. But now they're one of the biggest players in the game, in the world, one of the biggest landowners, one of the biggest investors. 1% of all companies, or I think it's 5% now, of all companies in the world, shares in all companies in the world is owned by Qatar. Think about that. I go to my first caller. Call you live. Go ahead. Yes, go ahead.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening. You're live.
Just
hold the line, number two.
I'm responding to comment you made regarding the responsibility of the leader of the opposition as it relates to the PAC, right?
Yes.
And I want to direct your attention to, as we were talking about Crown Land, etc., the responsibility of the Surveyor General.
Mm-hmm.
Because I am seeing a similar neglect of this responsibility on both sides. Let me give you an example here. All right, from the Surveyors Act, it states that there shall be a Surveyor General who shall be a surveyor and who shall, subject to the provision of the Act and of its regulation, 1A, direct and control all surveys for public purposes.
Yes.
Examine all general and particular plans and diagrams of surveys before any registration of any land is effected, in accordance with the provision of any act regulating the registration of land. And you can read the rest. I'll bring your attention to D. This is the fourth part. Cancel or amend or require any surveyor to amend in accordance with the provision of any law or survey plan or diagrams found to be incorrect, outdated, or inadequate. And the reason why I'm bringing this to your attention is the fact that we made a report, the surveyor's report to the Surveyor General from 2021, bringing to his attention of about an irregularity that was done by one of us, the surveyor in the country. And this is 2025. And he has not responded to regulate, amend, correct, or do whatever is required. Now, I know he may be in a position where he answers to the PM who's in charge of Crown Land. But the point is, if the act gives him the authority to make these decisions, all right?
Yes.
Why does he have to wait for the PM or anybody else to tell him? Because when I asked him to describe his responsibility or his job description, he told me I must go to the act. So I went to the act, pull up the act, and I emailed him the act to show him that I'm not stupid. The act states that he has the power to do whatever is necessary to make the amends correct, etc., according to the report that we gave him. But yet he has refused. Suggestion, what is the next step?
Yeah. So basically, we need to get a righteous government in there. What this government has done was they have really disassembled for the first 3 years. They disassembled and disabled lands and survey. All right, the ministry. We've been talking to staff there and other persons, and we've seen where they had no leadership for quite some time, no director, etc. They had zero leadership there. And we believe they did that so that they can do what they wanted. They also brought a bunch of surveyors from Jamaica when we have a lot of qualified Bahamian surveyors to do some things here. And so they disassembled that so there could be a land grab under this government, and we're seeing it happen. The Surveyor General has a very important job in this country, but of course, in our country, just like the Commissioner of Police, etc., he is handcuffed by the persons who give him his job, and that's where the problem comes in. If he don't get permission to deal with what you all say he should deal with, he is not going to deal with that, even though he has the power to do so. The commissioner of police doesn't have the answer to the prime minister or anyone. He has a separate constitutional position. And so he though acts like a puppet for the prime minister and the surveyor general. You're going to get the same exact result. We need to get these guys from running this country, PLP and FNM, so that we can deal with matters like this. It's not just with the Surveyor General. On every ministry, we have the same problems. But the corruption is coming from the top. The people on the top put their people in these positions like Surveyor General, Commissioner of Police, and all these top positions. And that's how they do their corruption. So until we get rid of the PLP and FNM, you're going to continue to have the problem that you're talking about.
Okay, so I guess what I'm also hearing then, we just need to subpoena him.
Yes, and force him to do his job. You can do a judicial review against the Surveyor General or any government official. You can do a judicial review and force them to do what they're supposed to do.
Yes.
All right. And on top of that, like I said, remove the PLP and FNM and get rid of this cronyism and these people controlling these people, and let's get to a country with meritocracy.
Absolutely.
All right.
Agree.
Thanks for the call, man. Great point. Let's go to the next line. Caller number 2, you're live.
Hey, Lincoln, how you doing?
I'm awesome.
Yeah, man, I want you to elaborate on the implications that might happen if the PLP go ahead with this thing with the Rothschilds that give them the permission to bargain our carbon credits on the open market. How much of a problem would that present for you if you get an offer trying to give it back to the people?
No, it won't give us any problem. No parliament, there's something called parliamentary sovereignty. That's one of the first things you learn in law school. No parliament can bind a future parliament. All right. So even though Biden has something in law, Trump could come and stop it. All right. So whatever they do can be undone. Now, what they kind of do sometimes when they're making a deal with a private company, for example, they would put a clause in there that if you don't go forward, you have to pay this amount of money. And then what you do is you look for some kind of fraud, cronyism, etc., or something to make it null and void. And then you can do just that. I don't want to talk all of our strategies that because we're ready to go, but I don't want to talk all our strategies today here where we're coming from. But it's nothing that they have done that we cannot undo. All right, everything they have done can be undone, and so we understand what they're doing with the Rothschilds, and this is why it's urgent, and this is why Bahamians need to realize that we're going to lose this country if we don't wake up and stand up against these people. And it's very important. There will be no country for our children moving forward. In fact, there will be no country for us. All right, but whatever deal they make with the Rothschilds, that don't stop us from doing anything. All right. Yeah. So whatever is done, we want you to understand that can be undone. All right. We don't have to honor anything that this corrupt government does. All right. We have plans to deal with all of what they are doing. Now, we can't reveal all of that, but we've already gone through the legal understanding, the legal research, et cetera, et cetera. Just like Trump and his team did from day one, we know what to do to empower Bahamians to undo the corruption that they have been doing, to track down everything that needs to be tracked down. In fact, we're doing that already, and to deal with them. Go ahead, Carly, you're live.
Hey, Mr. Lincoln.
How you doing, man?
Great. Hey, a question about and Freeport. You know, there's a road going in from Heritage and the Pine Ridge. And that road being so bad for so long. Mm-hmm. I don't know if anybody can talk to that, fix that road, man. There's a lot of people live in the back that, that road, that's like Voice and Those road, which you mean, it's so bad for being
Yes.
living in Freeport.
My brother, the problem with our country is that we still talking about roads, we still talking about water and electricity. I want you to watch the elections of first world countries. They don't have them kind of conversations. They don't campaign on that kind of stuff, man. That's basic stuff. The fact that we have to keep doing that and people still voting PLP and FNM, that's sad on us, not on them, That's sad on us that we would accept them continuing to do nothing, all right? And trying to praise themselves, pat themselves on the back for paving a road. That should just be normal. There should be a department that just deals with that, and the politicians don't even have to think about that. And this is why we're bringing island states and city government, because the people of the community will now be responsible for that. All right? We turn these communities into cities. They have their own budget. The money that they make on the island stays on the island, and they don't have to worry about this stuff no more. They don't have to hope a politician come and pave a road, man. For God's sake, you could pave that road in your community because you got to drive on that. Them politicians don't have to drive on that. They don't care. And if they drive on it, that ain't their car. That's the car we give them.
Yeah.
You see? And this is why we need change, man. It irks me to have conversations about potholes and water and electricity and these basic stuff, man.
Yeah.
We should be ashamed. That's disgraceful that that's the conversations we have in. Thank you, man. I appreciate your call.
Yeah, but you keep up the good work, man. I with you, I can stay with you.
Thank you, man. I appreciate that.
Okay, then. Thanks a lot.
All right. 803-5995 is the number. And so Scott on Facebook said, Mr. Bain, how will we deal with the large deportation Trump is doing in the USA? And so, so that's nothing. Trump is going to be deporting persons to this country. There's going to be a major audit when we get in to see what these guys have been up to, what they've been selling, etc. And they're going to pay for what they've been doing. But no one who doesn't belong in our country is going to stay in our country. It's simple as that. And so the same love Trump has for his country, I have for my country. And no one who doesn't belong here is going to stay here. I'll leave that at that. No one. All right. And so we'll deal with that. But we're gonna definitely have conversations with Trump and his team, and I think he's concerned about our borders also. Remember during Dorian, they were allowing persons to be evacuated. They wanted to allow persons to just come to America, and Trump said, "Listen, man, y'all got a lot of bad people that y'all just allow in your country. Y'all allow these illegal immigrants to just come in your country, and now they're gonna flood and come to us." He said, "Nope, Bahamians, we love y'all. But y'all mixing up and y'all allowing some stuff to happen that shouldn't happen. And so you're innocent, you have to suffer for the guilty." All right. And so we're going to protect our borders. There's going to be a blockade in Anagua. No one is going to come through, not a ounce of drugs, not an ounce of illegal activity. Nothing is going to happen at our southern border because we're going to protect it. The only reason it happens now is because the politicians are making money from it. And so that is going to change right away. All right. And like I said, in our administration, once we get in, I am going to be the Minister of Immigration. Right. And so, you know what that means. Go ahead, call you live.
Hey, good afternoon, Lincoln. How you doing, man?
I'm awesome, man. How you doing?
I'm good. Enough respect on the way you're doing, trying to free up our country and free up our people.
Thank you, man.
The education that you've been putting out there has really been enlightening for people like me and others in the Bahamas who was in the dark, not knowing our way because of the lines put in place that we was intentionally not able to cross.
Yes.
Right? With that being said, Mr. Lincoln, I think that education should be another big industry that you should put in the Bahamians' hands that should be free so that they could be educated in things like our constitutions, our penal code, from the baby to the breast to the big man. You know what I mean? Just to get into school, learning these things, because these are the things that are going to set us free mentally. And a mental free society is a society that can stand up for themselves and make decisive decisions. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So,
let me help you with that. From the last
Yes, sir.
before the last election in 2021, we revealed our vision for education. Of course, it's even expanded more now for our Vision 2030, and we are going to transform the way education is done in this country. And so when you hear it, you're going to love it. But you can actually go to our website now, and you can see our vision for education. Just look for go to our website, coalitionofindependence.com. Look for the vision, and then click on education. And you will see how we're going to transform education. It's going to be free from nursery to university level, to your doctorate degree. It's going to be free. A lot of countries did that, like Ireland. We see Barbados and other Caribbean nations have actually done it. And so what you start to have is an educated populace. And so more foreign companies want to move in because they have more people, qualified people they can hire. The reason China is so great right now is not because of cheap labor. It's because of educated labor. What they did was they educated their people. And so if you open up a company there, you can easily find people, skilled people who can work. Japan did the same thing. So you will see that, like, you'll see the banks, they'll have a call center, as simple as that is, or headquarters in Barbados instead of the Bahamas. And some of them move their stuff to Barbados. So when you call in with some of our banks, they answer the phone in Barbados or Jamaica, because those people are educated. I opened a shoe store in Barbados some years ago. It was the first overseas place that I expanded. And as we were interviewing people, the biggest problem was not having qualified people. It was that there were too many qualified people. It's like everyone was well educated. Everyone was very qualified. And it was hard choosing. And so I see why a lot of companies move to Barbados and places like that. And so we're going to make sure we have an educated nation. But our education is going to transform from preparing our people to be slaves working for someone else, and it's going to change their mindset with certain courses we're not going to put in there. You're going to learn business and finance and all that kind of stuff. We're going to train Bahamians to be owners. All right, we're going to shift the mindset. You're going to learn civics in school. You're going to learn real history, your real history. And so there's a lot of stuff that we're going to transform, but we're not creating slaves anymore. We're creating entrepreneurs. All right. And so that's what's gonna change the game with our education. We're also going to train people based on their tendencies. Some people are academically inclined, so that's how they learn. Some people are more dexterous with their hands, and so you have to teach them different. Some people have more, they're good at sports, so you can have sports schools the way that in Cuba they have a boxing school, etc. You can have sports schools that focus on that. And they do their sports and they do their education based on the way that they can learn. And so we're going to target that to be able to educate our people the way they learn. There's 8 different ways that people learn, and we have already presented this to teachers. They've contributed to this, included from overseas. We presented this to the union before we put it out there. They loved the idea. And so when you see our education plan, the full thing, it's going to blow the Bahamian people away.
That sounds absolutely wonderful, sir. Man, listen, I telling you, Mr. Bailey, I so encouraged by you taking the helm and trying to rein in this big disease of a bull that we got running around in the Bahamas.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Over here in the States, and I watch you I talk about every time you come on, because you lift my spirit and give me a sense of hope that something is going to change soon. You know what I mean? These people, they've been digging in our box for too long and mistreating us and taking us for granted. We need this change in the Bahamas so that we could get our country together, so that we could live free and live, blessed.
Yes.
But I thank you, sir.
Thank you.
You have a wonderful evening.
All right. God bless you. All right. So there's a lot of things, like I said, that we're going to be presenting when we put Vision 2030 out there. We're not going to be renting buildings from you. You saw the last live I did. If you didn't see the last Sunday's live, go and watch the last Sunday's live, where we talked about the buildings that they are renting to croonies and that kind of stuff. That's going to end. We're going to have government facilities that makes everything efficient. So everything you need that's regarding something, it's going to be in one building. So and they're going to move your papers around, not you. You don't have to take your document here, then go over there, then go to this building, and then go to that building. No, everything is going to be in one building with proper parking, so that we can become efficient. This stuff can be done, man. I don't understand, why we keep accepting mediocrity, but as a country, we need to move forward. All right. And so 8035995 is the number. You make sure we get it back on there. 8035995 is the number. That's the number right there. 8035995. Call us in with your questions, with your comments. What do you think about what's going on in this country? If you have a question about our vision and how we're going to do what we're doing, we're here to answer your questions. We're the only party, the only leadership that actually does that or would do that. Pintard can't do that because he has to get permission to speak from the oligarchs, who of course will be writing their vision and telling them what they're doing. Because the plan of the PLP and the FNM, their manifesto or their blueprint, is made to pay for them to make money from and to pay back their financial donors. So, for example, if Brent Simonet funds the FNM, then they'll say, okay, Brent Simonet, we're gonna do a road project so that because you're in the tower business, so that you could get this money back. All right, you got $1,000 or more. We give you one contract to put a post office there so you could get this money back. You see, that's how they do things. But we are going to transform this, and our vision is going to be from the people and for the people, with the people in mind. The whole thing is going to be about empowering the people. Our education is going to be changing our mindset. I'm tired of slavery. That doesn't mean that everyone is going to be an entrepreneur. Some people want to work. Some people want to be on jobs. And so that's good. But that's not going to be the focus. All right. The focus is going to be on giving us every opportunity and the education we need to go into business. And if you want to work on a job, that's fine. Nothing wrong with that. But right now, they discourage you from business. They keep you from business and keep you as a slave. All right. When we come in, we are going to have a nation of kings, of royalty. We are going to be the royal priesthood in this region. All right. And if someone wants to work for someone else, they are free to do so. Good evening, you're live.
Yes, good evening. Are we going to change the names of those who have taken on the Bahamian name? Are we going to reverse them back when the COIN?
Yeah, we haven't made a decision on that. It's going to be difficult to go backwards, especially with the way they keep records in this country. But we can deal with what happens going forward. We definitely can do that. All right. When we make the law that you cannot change your last name anymore, all right. Other than, of course, there's some exceptions to that, like of course in marriage, and if you find out someone else is your daddy, etc. But they'll have things in the law to be able to cover that. But if a foreigner just comes to this country and wants to change his name, that's not going to happen. All right. And it's going to be difficult moving forward because you're not going to get any citizenship in this country. You're only going to get residency, or if you're here for a certain period of time, contributing to this society, but you won't be able to vote in our elections, and you won't be able to run in any of our elections. And so that's how it's going to be. All right.
Well, I hope something a plan come up where we could redo, because it's unfair.
No, there's a lot of things that we will be able to redo. But like I said, if it wasn't the law at the time, it'll be more difficult to go back and tell them they had no right to change, when at the time they did have a right to change their name. But what we can do is protect ourselves and our society moving forward. All right. Now, there will be audits on certain things.
Okay.
All right. There will be audits on what they was doing.
Following Trump, and Trump, yes, he's doing some stuff, but now he reached a roadblock where they have in their constitution that once you're born, there you are citizens. But now he didn't want take that on, and they want to fight him on that.
Well, all he has to do is get the Constitution amended. And he has the power like no other president has ever had to get that done. And they've had amendments to the Constitution over the years. And that clause that they're talking about, clause 61, was put in there as an amendment. All right. So all he has to do is have the Constitution amended. And I think that most Americans are going to vote in favor of what he's doing.
Yes, and so that's why you say we will be Republican, and we could do the
Republican is a party, so we're going to be a Republic.
Yeah, Republic.
Yes.
Yeah. My good. All right then. Thanks.
All right, thank you. And so we're going to go into Republic, and that's going to change a lot of the issues that we have and a lot of the problems we have. Everything about it we can't explain, but it's going to solve a lot of our problems. It's going to put more accountability. And people ask why do island state city government, etc. The more you break down the society, the better it is to manage. All right, we have 15 or so people in the cabinet trying to manage a whole country, and that's why we still talking about water and electricity and etc. in 21st century. But if you have, like it was said to Moses, put the tens over the hundreds, and the hundreds over the thousands, and the thousands over the millions. So you have persons with responsibilities, and you break this up. And so managing 100 people is the same as managing 1,000 people, but you have to deal with it appropriately, just like dealing with an army. And so now, when you have it broken down into cities, and these cities have their own accountability and they can manage stuff, now you can manage what's going on, see what's going on, and people responsible for everything in our society, then our society is going to work. And the people who are managing have an interest in making sure it works out properly. And so you don't have to worry about anything ever again. Good evening, you're live.
Hey, how you doing, buddy?
I'm good, man.
Good. Very proud of Maria Jackson. That woman is so.
Yes. She have a love and a passion for this country and the people.
I no fear at all. Like you yourself, man, and I crossed my mind the other day. I said, man, what would happen if something happened to you or Maria Jackson or this movement, man? The country would be so horrible.
Yeah.
Let me tell you something. You know what's my passion? I'll tell you this right now. The 100-pound gorilla in the room during Trump's election or his campaign.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think that was?
I don't know what it was to you.
The 100 pounds, so you don't see him or you ignore him. The immigration was right up front.
Yeah.
Immigration was front, illegal immigration, that is, and something else they moved on. But that LGBT thing, man, you grasp that? Now, he couldn't hear that because, they want LGBT people to vote for them too. And, LGBT is between you. And when I say that, I'm trying not to say gay or homosexual. You know what I'm saying? But that's between you and your God. You know what I mean? And I stand by that. I don't judge anybody. I don't judge anyone.
Yeah. Well, I don't think Trump was not against the LGBTQ community. No. What he was against was the craziness, the extremeness of it. Having a man using the bathroom with my daughter, that's a problem. Exactly. Having a male compete with my daughter. My daughter is a gymnast. She just competed this weekend and she got almost a perfect score and everything she did. I'm so proud of her. I wish I could have showed her a video with her flipping and doing those stuff. I was so elated seeing her do stuff I see them do in the Olympics, running and jumping and flipping over those stuff. Like, wow, that's my child. Wow. But to see her compete against a male, would have disturbed me. Yeah. And so that's what Trump and other persons had a problem with. They're not, if you want to be gay, you have sex with who you want to have sex with. That's no one's business. What you do in your house, that's your business. But don't try to put policies in place to influence my children. And don't try to do stuff that's going to affect my daughter in the bathroom.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You want their safety, you want their peace of mind, man, because this could be disturbing. I mean, as a matter of fact, I think we are really less about the generation of what the foolishness Biden was doing. I mean this. You know who was, in my opinion, who started this off? The first black president.
Yes.
Obama.
Yeah.
Okay? And I see Obama and Fred Mitchell.
Well, really, it was Clinton that started it with "Don't Ask, Don't Tell" in the Army. So they softened you up, and then Obama took it to the next level, and then these guys, Kamala and Biden, went crazy with it.
Exactly. I didn't even bring up Clinton. I don't even go that far. But what we got here now in the Bahamas is what my focus I call you today. Bahamians. Let me talk to them for a second, man. You're Christian people. God hates that stuff. It's an abomination for him. But you guys still vote in these people. The other day I heard, I didn't hear about this, but I heard the other day you were in a church with one of them, and they gave him more honors than you. That's what I'm hearing on a podcast somewhere.
So you're talking about Fred Mitchell. I was at a church with Fred Mitchell.
Yeah.
They seated him up front, and they seated me in the middle of the church somewhere. And the pastor actually he corrected that. He fixed that.
Thank you. I condemn every church, but you know I am, sir. You know I am a preacher man.
Mm.
And I condemn every church that honors these people who come inside there when we're supposed to be one in God's eyes. Give them a whole bench. Why we got squeezed? But again, I hope when you come, man, you change all these foolishness, man, or listen to the people and get this place back like Trump did, man. Trump just, the vote for him just killed the whole place. The vote for him, what it did, the 60 flag gone, right? You know that? I mean, sorry, that LGBT flag is down.
Yeah.
He said that right away. Taking everyone down from every embassy in the world. So, for us to mend ourselves and get back on top, man, we really got to keep God in mind. Yeah. And listen to it. You know, because I just want to say before I hang up, man, you don't know how deep these things go. All of a sudden, 4 years, 5 years later, you wake up and you find yourself in absolute hell because you didn't do what God said to do. Now, you people, the Bahamas, demon people, you all know. You all know who's what.
Yeah.
Just like how we voted in the Haitian Prime Minister, you voted, my God, we're in trouble, man.
Yeah.
Anyway,
thanks for calling, man. I appreciate it. 803-5995 is the number. Like I said, what people want to do in the privacy of their home, that's nobody's business. But, you know, we don't like Fred's approach of trying to force these things on people. And every time this government comes in power, they started trying to put laws in place to force the agenda on the Bahamian people. And so Fred is normally behind that. And so we're just against that. If someone's calling me, but they video calling me. You got a regular call. And so we have a problem with that. All right, we get the other line. Good evening, you're live.
Yes, good afternoon. Good afternoon, Mr. President.
Good afternoon.
Yes, good afternoon, Bahamas. Good afternoon, COI Nation.
Yes.
You know, Mr. President, it was a joy and a privilege to be in your presence the other night at the church with all the delegates and supporters and branch leaders. It was awesome. The supporters of the COI showed up in droves. Only a room, standing room only. Even on the outside, men and members on the outside talking and communicating.
Yes.
That was awesome.
Yes.
And the thing is, the Bahamian people have woken up.
Yes.
And when I talk to Bahamians in the area in which I live and downtown, if you ask a Bahamian who you were voting for, the majority of them would say they don't know. You know why? Because the PLP and the FNM have failed the Bahamian people.
Yes.
They have failed the Bahamian people big time. And another thing that I recognize is that
Why don't we see the Bahamas Christian Council with all the pastors in the Bahamas marching towards Bay Street and in Parliament Square, telling the government and the opposition to let the Bahamian people go? Now, my thing is this. We give our tithes and offerings, say, to the pastor, right? And we should be giving it to God. But do we see it in our church fellowship? Now, I'm not saying for people to come out of the church. I'm not marching down Christians and church folk. But the thing is, when you have a lot of Christians out there in different denominations saying, oh, I don't vote. I'm not going to vote. And the Bible says, occupy till I come. The Bible says when the righteous bear rule, the people rejoice. And when the wicked bear rule, the people mourn. Is the Bahamas and the Bahamian people mourning today? Are they mourning Bahamas? The Bahamian people are mourning because the wicked is bearing rule. And some denomination says, we don't vote, but yet they want to represent God. And they wouldn't stand up and vote. If all Seventh-day Adventists vote, and all Jehovah's Witnesses vote, and all the Rastafarian brothers vote, we would have a better government. And we know who that government would be. The COI.
Yes.
The COI is for you and I, Bahamas. Mr. President, thank you for taking my call.
All right.
Good evening, Bahamas.
Thank you for your call. Good afternoon, caller. You're live. Go ahead, you're live, caller.
Yeah, I'm trying to find out what we could do different for better the country and the more better and the action that they'll be.
All right, that's your question?
Yes.
All right, thank you. You want to stay on the line or you want me to just answer it? You gang up.
You want I can stay on the line.
Okay. Yeah, so what we're gonna do better is we're gonna take power from the politician and give it to the people. That's the first thing. And so that's why we're doing island states and city government, to where the people are going to run their own affairs and you won't have to depend on politicians anymore. You won't have the trust that a politician is going to do what he says he's going to do, because we're going to give real power. This local government thing is a sham. All right. We're going to have real city councils with mayors, etc. And the islands are going to have their own governors so that they can run their own affairs. And they can do what needs to be done, because our islands aren't being kept up. So we need our people to do it. And so the greatest thing you could give someone is to empower them. So that's the first thing. We are going to allow people to benefit from their natural resources, not because we want to give handouts to people, but because, one, they're entitled to it. And two, we believe that the biggest problem in our country right now is access to capital. And if persons have access to capital, they can live their dreams. We believe that everyone has something to contribute to our society. And if we empower them to do so, then they can have the money to fulfill their dreams. But most people can't, so they just have to go find a job, and that's how it works. But we believe the country is going to be more efficient. We're going to have serious corruption laws. We're going to treat corruption like a capital offense, the way they do it in serious countries. And we're going to fix this country. The difference is our politicians today only do what they can make money from. That's the problem. If they can't make money from it, they ain't doing it. That's why you don't see much progress, because they can only be interested in a certain amount of things, which is normal. And so now, with the people being able to be encouraged to do whatever it is they want to do and not having these same people controlling everything, that's going to build our entire society. Next, we're going to make sure everyone gets access to land. The reason they don't give you access to land is because they use our crown land to make money from it. They give it to our homes for them to put a shabby house on it, and then charge you, $500,000 over 30 years to live in that house. But they get the land free to be able to sell it to you. And so these are some of the things we want to do. We're going to go republic. I'm trying to put all this in a nutshell. And one of the reasons we're doing that is because right now you'll have an MP. Like last term, we ended up with a Ministry of Health. What was his name? Renwood Wells as Minister of Health. That was absolute garbage. When we go republic, as you see what's happening with Trump now, we will be able to appoint qualified persons to run the different ministries. They don't have to be an MP. They can be, but they don't have to be an MP. So you can have someone who is qualified in the hospital industry, who have a lot of experience, he doesn't have to go through the election process, which is dirty because they attack you and put stuff on you. He can now be appointed because he's qualified. Someone to be national security might be someone with a lot of experience who can go there and be efficient to get that done. Now you're going to have the best people operating these ministries to be able to do what we can do. All right. And so that's how we're going to change things on top of everything and make things better.
All right, thank you.
All right. Thank you too. All right. So I was trying to put that in a nutshell. A lot of the qualified people in this country don't run in elections because they lie on you. They tell stories on you. Right. I saw one story last week say I shacking up. No, I ain't shacking up with nobody. All right. I live with my son. So they attack you. They go after you. And they tell a bunch of lies and that's the only way they know how to fight. And so a lot of people don't want to go through that because I come right now, caller, give me a sec. Because there's only certain this country is small and there's only a certain amount of jobs they could have. So if a qualified person goes into politics and they soil his name, lying on him, etc., where's he going to go after that? And even if he wins and then loses next term, he's done after that. And so that's why a lot of people don't go in. But now we're going to be able to appoint people to certain positions. They go through the elected Senate and they get grilled publicly. So we know that this is the right person. And that's how we're going to do it. I think that's a better system than just having these MPs who are not qualified, don't know nothing, but all of a sudden they're the expert in these ministries and the ministries are failing. All right. All right. So Kareem Anchel is calling back again. Go ahead, Kareem Anchel.
How you doing? And the COI family. Okay. I don't know if there's a misunderstanding in terms of how they feel, that they think I'm trying to be challenged. But understand, I want the COI to understand one thing. Anchel, I gave a plan to the government. I got victimized by the government for telling the government.
Wait, hold on one sec. If you're speaking to a supporter or specific supporters, that's supporters. The COI is our directors, our executive, et cetera, and I don't see anyone who is a candidate, director, executive, et cetera, responding to you or having issue with you.
Let me just say what I said. Let me just give COI supporters an understanding then.
Go ahead.
When the government was trying to implement VAT in 2014, I was a consultant to the government as an independent consultant. I said to the government, I said, you cannot put VAT on the people without introducing a revenue generation plan to offset the expenses that will be accumulated month to month, week to week, day to day. That's one. Secondly, I suggested to the government to put power into the hands, so renewable energy, solar power in the hands of homeowners for power production, not store. I told them that because it is cheaper and it takes less time. We've been waiting on the government to put in a plan for renewable energy for solar, and it ain't happening. We still waiting for them to build these commercial grid-sized plants. When it takes 3 days to install a 3K system on a house, 3 days times X, that's job creation, and it costs less, and we can have our energy problem fixed, and it creates relief, and it removes energy from the
All right, get to the point, Angel.
Okay, no, I'm just giving you some understanding when the country say I don't fight, when COI say I don't fight, and I trying to be a problem to you. Thirdly, I'm certain that no one in COI, and if they are, they'll agree that water is energy. I'm studying how to convert water into energy from these fuel cells. We have all this water around us. I went to Abaco after Dorian. I did some work there for fencing. They was giving us water from the sea. They had I had an osmosis machine or truck that was sucking the salt
desalination plant, not osmosis.
Yes. No, it wasn't even a plant. It was a truck, a trailer.
Yeah, that's what I'm calling a plant.
When there's on the edge of the seabed, where they put a hose in the water, it sucked the water, purify the water, whatever it does, and we was able to drink and bathe in that water at the same time. This Abaco.
Okay.
So when you talk about $70 million on a water solution, and I'm thinking, man, these people putting up with a trailer on the side of the beach and pushing and pumping the water, and we could drink that, and we have a water issue. So I'm trying to tell COIU and your entire executive team, I'm the entire support base. I'm only one person. Do not think that I'm not fighting for Bahamians and providing credible information. I'm a man being off the school.
No, I don't think that's what the problem they have. You know, they see the Facebook posts where you're constantly attacking me. You know, the FNM and PLP are the persons who have been destroying this country, but they see you with petty posts against me. Posts like, "Oh, you're not married. You can't be prime minister," and other petty posts. That's none of your business. Whether someone has sex or not. All right. Listen to what I'm saying. All right. Nelson Mandela was not married. He's one of the greatest leaders in this country. When he became president, he was not married. Marriage has nothing to do with whether you can lead this nation. Moses sent his wife home. All right. He sent her home. He sent her home. All right. Now, my religious beliefs has nothing to do with the governing of this country. We need people who, of course, are moral and etc. But whether they are married or not has nothing to do with whether they are capable of running this country. And so that's really what it is. Your personal life has nothing to do with that. I'm not interested in your personal life. I'm not interested in anyone's personal life. What I'm interested in, can you take this country to the next level? Because God picked a murderer called Saul to take his Christian people to the next level. A murderer, the most unqualified person that you could imagine. He picked that young man on the way to murder Christians, just coming from murdering Christians, and he picked him because when God chose you, he chose you from before you were born. All right. And so their personal life is nothing to do with anything else. All right. So my brother, what Romans 2:1 says is, don't judge others, because when you judge others, you condemn yourself. All right. So I just want you to know that. And simple as that. So God bless you. Thanks for your call. I appreciate it. But my brother, the PLP and FNM are the enemy. All right. The PLP and the FNM. And it's them who have been raping and robbing this country and destroying this country. Simple as that. The answer. Oh, next caller was trying to call in. Look like they got froze out. You might have to call in a regular line call. I see you calling in. I don't know what happened to this WhatsApp. The WhatsApp must don't like handshell, so that's what happened. All right. Yeah. So again, that's the politics of these. WhatsApp is back up now. You can call on that. That's the politics that these people play. They try to attack you personally, etc., etc. Listen, man, what I looking for? I'm not looking for holier than thou. Because when God decided to move, he didn't go for the priests. He went for the custom fishermen to transform them. He doesn't look for the holy people. When God makes change, he doesn't go for the status quo. He actually picks regular people, people that we would never think are qualified, and he uses them. He used a man like David, as sinful as David was, and picked him because he was a man of God's own heart. All right, so that's the end of that. First caller, you're live. Go ahead.
Good afternoon, Chief.
Yes, go ahead.
Happy New Year to you, man. And guess what?
Yes.
I ain't perfect, and you ain't perfect.
No.
And let me tell you something. We here in Grand Bahama, I don't know what's going on, but they just had one big closed door meeting by the PLP headquarters.
Wow.
And they scared.
Yeah.
All I saying to you, whatever you're doing, don't stop.
Yeah.
If the haters don't like it, we love it down here in Grand Bahama.
All right, man.
And don't let no one rush you. And don't let no one tell you nothing, because you know exactly what the plan is. The plan is to mash up the enemy, man.
Yes.
And we love you down here, big brother.
Thank you, my brother.
All right.
Yeah, man. We're gonna take back everything the enemy stole from us, and I don't have any problem answering any question about me. I was married. That didn't work out. I don't ever speak any ill of my ex-wife. I was married. I'm not someone who is not interested in marriage like Fred Mitchell and those kind of fellas. I am going to get married again, but I have to take my time and make sure I choose right. Marriage is something very important, but that's my personal life. In the meantime, I'm married to this mission and I'm going to make sure it happens. I might be married before the election and I may be married just after election. But again, that's my personal life. I am married to this country and we are going to transform this nation. That's what we're going to make happen. All right. Good. Let's go to the next caller. Call you live. Go ahead.
Good day, how you doing?
I'm awesome, man.
That's good. Good afternoon, everybody. I was listening to the live, and a young lady called and said, "What are you going to do different from the PLP and F&M to make it better?" And it was so easy to answer because I'm always in a situation of trying to reach out to certain MPs and different things like that. And I realized that if you're not in their constituency, they don't care about you. That's number one. They're not about helping somebody out of their circle. It's about gaining that vote at the end of the day. So what happens is they discourage a lot of people, young visionaries, who have these beautiful ideas. I talk about invention. And the way they get turned off from here to there, it's like, I might as well give up. And I know somebody personally, and I have to talk to you about that has the world's best charger. You hear me? A phone charger that a Bahamian made that I have in my access. I have all the details. He's making it from China, the manufacturers, everything. And I want everybody to listen to this live. There's a man that has a charger that's not out there that can possibly gain millions, and he is went to every politician to help him, and everybody turned him down. Everyone, I couldn't believe it. I saw this device. I couldn't even believe a black person, not necessarily a Bahamian, came up with this idea. So I'm gonna message you probably tonight or tomorrow and send you all the information. Now, here's it. These hotels are taking advantage of the Bahamas. Everybody already know that. Virgin Voyage in Bimini. All of us went down there and was hearing the big plan before they build it and how they want to get involved with the Bahamian people. The minute that opened, Bahamians could not step foot unless you were working for them. So everything that said that they wanted Bahamian vendors, thinking this to do, they end up doing it themselves.
Yes.
Nobody, no, you cannot do that. No. See, and that's what's happening. All these investors coming in, and then they realize that, hey, okay, I don't have to look up for the Bahamian people. I can do this myself. The politicians tell me I can do it, so that's more money for me. So that's why this country is not in a good state the way it is. Look at Cabbage Beach. I was going to tell you, if you could drop a plan, that same little walkway, look at Marina Village. That could be a mini Marina Village. That could be so beautiful. But they're not hearing ideas to say, hey, how can we make this beautiful for the Bahamian people so it don't look like the sea is taking away the whole thing. They want it to crumble and make us look bad and take it away from us.
Yeah.
You know, so I want everybody to be encouraged, man. This thing, let me tell you something. San Salvador is a beautiful place. I visit there, and those people are getting paid $400 a week. You hear me? 90% of the people in San Salvador works at Club Med. Club Med owns San Salvador. We read stories of Christopher Columbus and all this place. That place is so beautiful. But guess what? They let the put everybody.
Hold on, go to your next. All right. Thanks for your call, man.
All right, take care.
Very wonderful points. I always love to hear from you. I don't even have to touch on after you've spoken. I think you say it cogently. Go ahead, call you live.
Yeah, it's a pleasant good afternoon, Mr. President.
Yes.
And it's always a pleasure to hear you live, and me and my family we tune in each Sunday when you come on. But we wanted to inject something to the caller that inquired about what is it that you are planning to do next. I say to persons in the Bahamas, the work that Preparing has laid out for the Bahamas and its citizens are very well detailed on YouTube, Google, LinkedIn, which is Vision 2025. And I think Vision 2030 is in the making.
Yes.
Well, I will tell you this. Me and my wife, along with some neighbors, sat down on New Year's Day. And I was telling them about what the Coalition of Independence was doing for the Bahamian citizens. And we watched Vision 2025. And they were flabbergasted. Let me tell you. They say if this gentleman had this plan with good intentions in his heart, the Bahamian people are royalty. So let me say this to all the listeners. We are royalty, and we must support this movement for Bahamianization, because those who are in power now are just merely out for themselves, family, and friends. We've seen it over half of a century, and it's now time for Bahamians to stand up, be obligated, and have a privilege to know that you are Bahamian.
Yeah.
Let's take our country back and support this movement of the coalition, because we know who the PLC are, we know who the FNN are. Let's give it a chance to see who are the Coalition of Independence. Good evening, Mr. President, and just thanking the people for the air.
Thank you, man. Thank you. I think people are going to be blown away by Vision 2030 when our candidates release that. And that's what we need in this country. That's what's lacking, and it is the vision. All right, it is the vision. Of course, this election period, so we see all the petty stuff going on. I see a lot of stuff going on there. Every morning they wake up with something about Mia Maria or Charlotte or MacGyver or whoever is out there. But I just want you to know that I cannot waste my time answering these people. Hold on, caller. You're the next caller. Hold the line. I cannot waste time answering these kinds of people. Because all they have to do now is just keep putting lies out there to distract you, and then you'll spend all of your time just trying to answer them, and you'll never get anywhere. I don't care at all about what they have to say. All I care about is this country, that we have to move forward. If they had something on me for the 20 years that I was exposing them and exposing the truth, they would have dealt with me already. All right, 20 years I have been dealing with them. I've been addressing them. I've been calling their names, etc. And if I was so bad, they would have dealt with me already. They always bring up this thing that I have some lawsuit. Every business has a lawsuit. There's no business without a lawsuit. We invested in the business burned down, and the person said I should pay them back personally, and they brought some little write up to say I agree to pay them personally. I don't agree with that, so I put it through the courts. If I lose, then I lose. As simple as that. That doesn't make me a bad person. I did a business deal, and the person said I should pay them back personally for me losing and them losing. You can be the judge of that. It doesn't matter, but I know that our country is losing, and we got to fix that. And so that's why I'm in this fight. All right. So let's go to phone lines. Call you live. Go ahead.
Good night, Mr. Bain, and good night, Bahamas.
Good night.
I would like to know what is the CRI plan for immigration, particularly these passports that have been clearly given out, where Brave is trying to create this whole new voting block. It concerns me. It really concerns me. I want to know, what is the CRI plan in terms of having these, revoked once you get into power, and what is your general plan for immigration for the Bahamas? Thank you.
Now, Mom, once you go out there and say certain things, you give them a certain reason to vote. Because if I have a passport, I got it illegally, and you come and say you are going to take my passport, lock me up, or do whatever, you give me a reason to vote against you. We're not going to reveal everything that we're going to do, but I'm going to say that we're going to right all of the wrongs. All right. We're going to fix it. I think that Bahamians should know by now, based on what I've been doing, that I am the person with the ability to fix this immigration problem, and it is going to be fixed. And we're definitely going to target the politicians for what they have done. We want Keith Bell on election night, once he hears that the COI has won, to not try to leave this country, because we'll track him down wherever he goes. And anyone else who has been taking part in these activities, we want them to know that they should stay put. All right. That's all I'm going to say there. We already have a lot of evidence lined up. We have documents lined up, stacked up, ready to go to address them on day one, and we're waiting for them. All right. So that's most of what I want to say.
Okay, and that's fine. Sounds good. Because I don't think that the majority of it, well, at least let me speak for myself. I don't have a problem with people who come to our country for a better life if you come the right way. Like,
yes,
people who are deserving of having getting citizenship. I know one of the plans that the party has is to stop giving out citizenship, and I fully agree with that. Yes. Just like how those of us in Canada, we would get permanent residency or something first, work permit. I think that's a brilliant idea. So I'm all on board with that.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Have a good night.
All right, thank you. And yeah, they'll give you permanent residency, work permit, then permanent residency first, and then they'll give you citizenship. But we are not going to give citizenships. All right, that's not going to happen moving forward. The reason that's not going to happen is other countries that do that, like in the Middle East, Dubai, etc. And that's because they are benefiting from their natural resources. Because we're going to be benefiting from our natural resources, that means that we don't want people to just come in our country just to benefit from what is ours, what our grandparents, etc., worked for. And so that's a good reason to not give out citizenship, and a justifiable reason to not give out citizenships moving forward. And so moving forward, we will not give new citizenships to persons. It's just not going to happen, because we can't risk. We have a small population, only 200,000 adults. Hold the line, caller. Only 200,000 adults. And if you have countries next to us with millions of people and they flood our country, majority rules. And that is why we have to fight. So we're going to make sure that you can't come here and influence our elections, vote in our elections, and all the stuff that we see going on. We got to protect this country, man. And I'm going to protect this with my last breath. Go ahead, call you live.
Hello, Lincoln. I am very concerned that a previous caller had mentioned that the sovereign wealth is going to be invested, and that's the same thing that the PLP is doing. I'm concerned that we don't want to mix things up looking like what the PLP is planning to do. Can you please explain that there's a difference between what COI plans to do and what the PLP is doing?
Hold line, call you next. Yeah. So what the PLP is doing is different from what the COI is doing. Is the PLP has no intentions of letting the people of this Bahamas benefit from our natural resources. They changed the sovereign wealth fund to an investment fund so that they can take our resources and put it in private companies and steal it from us. All right, that private companies can now have ownership of our resources, and they can reap the benefits of our resources. That is a crime against humanity that's happening, and I don't care what agreement they sign. We are going to reverse it, and if they did any fraud or corruption, etc., we are going to remove them from society. All right. And so you don't have to worry about that. We are going in there to fight for what is ours. And so what the COI is doing is we're not doing the same thing that the PLP was doing. We are going to benefit from our natural resources. We're going to go into the salt industry bigger. We're going to make an offer to buy Morton salt, which was actually sold recently during the lockdowns, and for a few hundred millions, we could have owned Morton Salt International, not just in Agua, internationally, and controlled salt in the world. All right. And we could have expanded with the other salt ponds we have, the 13 salt ponds that we have. And so we're going to use our natural resources, and we are going to invest the money that we make from it. And it goes to, of course, it goes to paying off our debts, to building projects and this kind of stuff. We're going to invest in cruise ships. We're going to go into the tourism industry, et cetera, like Dubai and those did. but Bahamians are going to get a piece of that pie. All right. So that's a different story from what they're talking about. They were blocking us from ever benefiting from it. We're going to make sure that you benefit from it. Some people say, it won't be $100,000. Well, that's what they say. That didn't come from us. That came from the PLP, Perry Christie, etc. They brought up that idea of $100,000 per household. When we did our investigations, we realized it was possible, and we continued with that because we believe that we could do more than they actually did. All right. So let me just go to the next caller. Call you live. Go ahead. Call the line. Call you next. Go ahead, caller.
Hello?
Yes, go ahead.
Yeah.
Call the line. Call you
I
next.
want to talk about the carbon credits.
Yes, go ahead.
What it actually is for. I realize. Is it true that after a certain amount of years, the Bahamas will sink? Or the water rising so high?
Right. So they believe that the water is going to rise higher and higher, and that the Bahamas will be underwater. And so, if that is the case, that's even more reason. Because some people don't believe in global warming, and they believe it's a scam. But if that is the case, that's even more reason that we as a people need to start benefiting from the carbon credits. The purpose of the carbon credits is so that the people who are victims of the pollution that the first world countries are doing, and China, they're polluting the earth, making trillions of dollars per year, polluting the earth, making their products, and we are suffering from the hurricanes and from the backlash of it. And so it may come a time when if the population rises, we have to move somewhere else. If that has to happen, we need to make sure that our Bahamians can afford to do that. They can afford to go to any country to live, just like the politicians, if that is going to happen.
So shouldn't we be acquiring a new Bahamas? I mean, at a different location?
We can do that. Qatar is one of the biggest landowners in the world right now. They actually own more land in England than the Queen does, or the King now. And that's what they're doing. But the first thing you have to do is acquire your wealth to secure your future generation, so that no matter what happens, that you can be secure. What we are doing is we are trying to secure this country for our future generations, to make sure that we are able to live.
So why I say that is, if we secure our nation we'll still want to sign what's there, and we relocate to another place so we can still be in control of the sign.
Yes, the Bahamas will still be ours. The Ragonite, the sand, and everything that there, even if it goes underwater, will still be ours.
Right. So I mean, people ain't getting it. I mean, this money to actually help relocate, so you could help these things to actually sell.
Well, the first thing we need to do is we need to benefit so that we could be in a position that no matter what happens, there may be some preventative measures that we have that we can do to make sure that we reverse what is possible to happen. We may be a world leader. Like Qatar right now, because of their wealth, because of their strength, they are in negotiations with most world countries. When world countries are in conflict, Qatar is the in-between. Even with Israel and the Palestinians, Qatar is the in-between doing negotiations, not America, not England, etc. But they've positioned themselves like that. We need to negotiate from a position of strength. We need to strengthen our people, strengthen our nation, take advantage of what is in our waters, benefit from it, so that we can be the change that we need to see. As simple as that. And we will have a country secure for our future generations, or that they can be secure.
Right. So why call you and ask you that is the Bahamian people need to change their mindset and figuring out an exit plan. I mean, although you need to still be on top, but I mean, you need to start thinking now.
Yeah.
Before it get out of hand.
Yeah.
But that's what I wanted to bring attention to the Bahamian people. That's all.
All right. Thanks for your call, man.
No problem.
All right. Call you live. Go ahead.
Mr. Ben,
yes.
Quick. What is our position on taking pictures or videos
police infractions when they do it right in the front of us.
You have a duty to do that. As a just and righteous citizen, you have a duty to do that.
Absolutely.
Even Wayne Monroe said, because I brought it up a couple of times in my life, even Wayne Monroe confirmed that you have a right to take video of a police officer. They take video of you. They have on a cam. They're taking video of you. You also have a right to take video of them. All right. It's just that.
Happened to Miss Jackson the other day. That's why I called you, but I got her back.
Yeah, that happened to her with a defense force officer.
Yes.
And she just kept questioning why. But of course, you have a right to record. Yeah, you're not the only place you can't record is in a place where privacy is expected, like in a bathroom or in a bedroom. Like you can't go to someone's bathroom with a camera and point it into their bathroom or into their bedroom. And so outside of that, if someone is outside or in a public place, you are free to record them.
Can anything be done to that defense officer?
Yes, but Maria knows what to do.
Thank you.
But normally, Maria is doing these things for the public good, and it's just a political kind of protest. So she normally doesn't do them, or she isn't interested in doing anything to them.
The guy is getting on to me. He's telling her, I don't give you permission to take pictures of me.
Yeah, she don't need permission to record him. As she was recording him, there was cameras right down that building recording her, right? She didn't give them permission.
He's wearing our uniform that she said.
Yeah.
She paid for.
Yeah. Thanks for your call, man.
Thank you.
All right. Call you live. Go ahead.
Good afternoon, Mr. Bear.
Good afternoon.
Mr. Bear, I just want you to explain to the Bahamian people, because they are saying that because Trump is not full with the climate change anymore, that the carbon credit is finished for the Bahamas. So I just like for you to explain to the Bahamian people about that situation.
Yeah, America is not the biggest. Thank you. That's a good question. That's Trump. And America is not the biggest carbon market. The biggest carbon market is the European market, but many countries have their own market. China has their own market, but in the European market, the carbon credits have gone up to over $90-something per credit, and it fluctuates, of course. So that's just one country with their policy, and so America has never been a big player in that. Theirs is based in Chicago, etc. But the European market is where it is big, and that's where there's a lot of money to be made. And we can start our own market. We don't need Trump in order to do that. We can start our own market and have persons in their countries, in China and Asia, Europe, etc., able to buy credits from us, and that would change the game. All right, and so a lot of people don't understand that, but that's just what America was doing. But we don't need America in that market for it to be a huge market. All right, so that's really how it works. All right, so we covered a lot of stuff today. I think we're gonna end up there for the day. We did 2 hours and 40 minutes. Okay, let me take this call. Let me get this call in before we end. Good afternoon, you're live. Go ahead, call you live.
Hi, good afternoon, Mr. Ben. Good afternoon. Good evening.
Good evening.
The audience. Just to follow up on what the two previous callers had said, the first one who talks about the Bahamas sinking. We must first of all go back to the original landmark and realize that the law stated in the original landmark, and I'm talking in terms of the supreme law, that it is the Almighty God that sets the boundaries for the sea and gives the ocean its limits or its boundary, that it shall not cross the landmark, it shall not cross the shore. And there are many scriptures where you can find this. If you look it up, where God sets the boundaries for the ocean. So our islands of the Bahamas is truly protected by God, and it is Him who has set the boundaries. Another thing where Mr. Lynch Jones just called, and I had the same concerns, where Donald Trump is saying that
he is not a fan of climate change, and that is our next door neighbor. But you answered that very well, because the European market is one of the biggest clients for carbon credits. So you answered that very well. So I don't believe that it's going to be a threat. But what I do believe is that what we need to do is we need to begin to move forward with this swiftly. And that is why we need to get rid of the F&M and the PLPs, because they are not going to move forward with this thing swiftly so we could benefit from what we have. We know times and season will change. And as times and season change, it could swing it to the left or it could swing it to the right. But right now, it is swing to us where we can benefit from it. We need to move fast on this opportunity.
Yes.
So thank you so much. But I just want us to know the Bahamas has always been protected by God, and the Bahamas will continually be protected by God.
Thank you,
We
man.
don't have to worry about sinking because He got us.
Thank you.
And that is our biggest defense force of this country. It has been our ancestors' defense of this nation. And so once we stick with the whole landmark and we stick with the things of the laws of God, then I don't see us sinking no time soon.
All right. Thanks, your God. All right. And so for persons who are talking about Trump, I've had conversations with persons on Trump's team, policymakers, etc. And so I'm not going to reveal anything. But for example, Tesla does not benefit from Trump's stance on EVs. Trump ended the mandatory EV rule that was pushed out there. It wasn't an actual law, but that was being pushed out there. And that doesn't benefit Tesla. But Elon Musk, hold the line, caller, coming right now. Elon Musk still sees the need to work with Trump to better America for other reasons, and that it can benefit. So even though it could affect it in a certain way, it's still some benefit. So don't worry about Trump's policy on carbon credits. It won't affect it in any way. We just need to get in there and benefit from what we can, and that's it. The problem with the PLP and right now, well, Lefnam isn't going to do it. They're for the oligarchs, and Pintard has already told you he's not letting anyone benefit from natural resources because you're going to smoke dope and drink like he does. All right. So he has already said he's not letting you do it. And so the PLP doesn't want you to benefit because that'll stop you from being poor, and then they lose their base. Use this. Go ahead, call you live.
Lincoln.
Yes, go ahead.
Yeah, Lincoln, what you saying?
Yes.
Good afternoon, Bahamas. Lincoln, I bet that gentleman, the last caller there, 1,000,000%.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know where these people get this foolishness from about the Bahamas gonna sink because of the water rising up and come. God has protected these seas for thousands of years, and you think that can happen? If that was gonna happen, that should have happened years ago. Years ago. Let them tell them stop putting fear in those that believe that, and tell them go sit small, because that will never happen. That ain't gonna happen.
Okay. Thank you for your call, man.
Thank you for taking my call, Lincoln.
All right, thank you,
easy,
man. All right. So again, ladies and gentlemen, thank you. Vision 2030 is going to be coming soon. Support the movement. This is right here. Let me send the links out to you again. That's GoFundMe. And the links coming on all of your platforms right now. That's where you can directly, if you're in the Bahamas, you can use this one to support us. Or if you're anywhere in the Bahamas or anywhere in the world, you can use this one to support us. It's GoFundMe. Or you can go to our headquarters. It's open every day from 10 to 3 in Pinewood. Every day from 10 to 3. You can go there and you can support the movement. We're going to continue doing what we have to do to make this happen. We need your help, need your assistance. Every organization has to raise funds Trump is a billionaire, and he had to raise funds to do what he was doing. The PLP and FNM raises funds all the time, and so we have to do what we have to do to get this done. Elections are coming. We want to change. You got to help us make that change. Come out and help us. Come out and help us to campaign, to walk with us, etc., so we can be this change that we need to see. All right, everyone, stay focused. We are going to win this. Now, how does this work? You have to evangelize. They can make us disappear from the media, like you saw in that story just now. They interviewed me probably for 15 minutes, and they didn't put a second of me talking. When they got back to the station, they said, "Oh, cut him off. Don't give him no voice." And so they can block us off from the media, but they cannot block you off from talking to your friends and family. They cannot block you off from evangelizing, which means to spread the message. All right. And so you have to talk to your family and friends. We're getting messages every day of certain businesses. That's all they talk about every day. COI, that change is happening everywhere. And the good part is the PLP and FNM can't see it coming because they block us from the media. They can't see what's happening. Families are saying that their whole family, maybe last election they had one person in the house. Now 6-10 people in the house are full COI. So we need your support. Continue to, someone said they just donated. Thank you so much. We appreciate you. God bless you. Of course, we're going to be traveling. We have to go to all islands to make sure that we can get this done. There's a lot of work that has to be done. Don't just tell us, no, we encourage you, we with you. A little small, even if it's $5, $10, whatever it is. Obama did it with dollar donations. You can go online, you can donate, you can come to the office, drop off $5, $10, whatever it is. It will go a long way to making sure this happens. It has to happen through your support and your donations. Every party, including the FNM and PLP, raises funds, every single one. And so we have to make this happen too. If you really believe in this, you have to make it happen. All right? That's the way it's going to happen. So like I said, some of us waste money on the smallest things. So instead of buying, some chocolate today, you save that $2 and you send it to the party. Make sure that we can do what we have to do. All right. So God bless you. It's time for war. It is time to take this country back. Election is this year. We believe it's in September because it was supposed to be in May based on all the conversations they were having before, but those scandals caused them to push it back. So now we believe it's going to be in September. It can't be in the summer because people already have their travel plans. That wouldn't be ethical. And so in September, they can do it. After that, it gets dark too quick. And so most likely it's going to be September, which would give Brave exactly 4 years that he was in office. And so we look forward to going in this battle with you. Thank you so much. We appreciate you. Thank you for spending your Sunday evening with us. Going to go get some Sunday dinner now. And I'm going to be working on Vision 2025. And so if you need appointment to see me, etc., I'm going to be taking less appointments for the first part of February. But I will take appointments, but I'm going to take less appointments because we are going to be working on Vision 2025 to be able to launch that for you in the coming weeks. All right. So God bless you. We love you. Get ready for the war. Ignore the trolls. Fight them if you have to on social media. Don't be shy or ashamed to fight them. But don't think that their old weapons are working. People aren't falling for it anymore. The tactics of the media is not going to work. The tactics of the PLP and FNM is not going to work. It's time for change, and change is here. So God bless you. We love you. See you next time.